The temperature up near 70 degrees. It's improved from a rather cool couple of days ago, and we're happy to welcome you to this Citrus Bowl action this afternoon. Hello, everybody. Jay Randolph to call the play-by-play, and alongside to analyze the action of this one, Dave Rowe. Dave, when we talk about BYU and Ohio State, two fine football teams and some big names. First of all, Robbie Bosco for BYU.
Oh, boy, Jay, when you think Robbie Bosco, you think pass. This fella has passed over 500 times. His offense is averaging over 500 yards a game. He is going to have a great day in this weather.
Well, another man who hopes to have a great day is a fellow who's had a frustrating season. Keith Byers, the big guy for Ohio State, is nearly 100%, really healthy for the first time.
For the first time in 2 weeks. He's had 2 weeks off. He should be at near 100%. He's only rushed for 218 yards, but Earl Bruce said that he thinks that Keith Byers is just going to have an outstanding day, and I look for him to rush for over 150 yards today.
It's been a festive week down here. The teams have enjoyed Disney World and Epcot Center and SeaWorld, and they've had a tremendous time here. But as we near kickoff, you get the feeling that these two clubs are really set to go. Right now, we are set for the singing and playing of our national anthem.
We invite you now to join the Brigham Young Band under the direction of Dr. David Blackington as we honor America with our national anthem.
This crowd of better than 50,000 enjoying with you our national anthem. Down on the sidelines this afternoon, we're very happy to have Tom Hammond with us. He'll be giving us some thoughts, some keys to the game, bringing us up to date on important information. Tom?
Thank you, Jay. And down here on the sideline getting ready for the game, I thought there were a couple of items that may interest the fans and help with their enjoyment of the bowl game this afternoon. First of all, Brigham Young has one of the most sophisticated passing attacks in all of college football. The receivers make adjustments en route. They don't just run it down and out. They adjust to what the defense does, and not many college teams are able to do that. For Ohio State, something to watch today. They're a little bigger, and by the fourth quarter, they hope that their size can wear down the smaller BYU players. If that happens, then Ohio State's got a good chance to win the Citrus Bowl. Back to Jay.
And this 40th Citrus Bowl, a biggie, because this is the first time a Big Ten team has come here to play in Orlando. Ohio State is here, and BYU, of course, is a football team that was the defending national champions. All right, let's go back to Tom.
Well, Jay, these two teams have played only once before in the Holiday Bowl 1982. Ohio State won 47-17, but today it's BYU that has the higher ranking and, of course, the better record. Here are the Cougars of BYU, a record of 11-2, ranked 9th in the nation, and the defending national champions. Of Ohio State, a record of 8-3, ranked 17th in the nation, and playing in a bowl game for the 14th consecutive year. Mystery about the game plans today. BYU has the most potent offense in all of college football. Ohio State, with Byers injured most of the season, had more passing yards than rushing yards. Unusual for a Buckeye team, but Byers today about 95%. The Buckeyes look to play ball control and keep it away from Bosco and company. Jay?
The fans are set. We hope you're set, because certainly this one shapes up as a dandy this afternoon. It's been a wonderful week for the teams and the fans, and now we're set for the anticipation of this football game. One of the things we didn't talk about, a lot of big people at the line of scrimmage for both teams.
Oh, boy, Jay, they have some monsters on that offensive line. Both offensive lines average over 270 pounds. I couldn't get over the size of them. This is almost like a pro game with these fellows out here, Jay. They really have some big size, and I really think that size and that offensive line could be the determining factor in this game, because that should be one of the big keys of this ball game. Who controls the offense and defensive lines?
There's Earl Bruce. His Ohio State Buckeyes won the toss. They're going to receive. They're in their red and white, and there is Lavelle Edwards, 54 years old, a native of Orem, Utah, the head coach of the Cougars. The Cougars, co-winners of the WAC, 7-1, and of course Ohio State 8-3, 5-3 in Big Ten play, losing to Illinois, and then those last two disappointing losses to Wisconsin and Michigan. The Cougars lost to UCLA 27-24, and were upset by UTEP 23-16. Robbie Bosco loosening up along the sidelines. Bosco, the senior from California. Jim Carsados will be the man who will lead the Buckeyes at quarterback. He's also a Californian. He's talking there with Earl Bruce. As a young man from Tauranga, New Zealand, Mark Ormsby will put the ball in play. Ormsby, a rugby player, a fellow who we chatted with yesterday, Dave. Very interesting fellow.
Oh, yeah, I loved his accent. Had a wonderful accent. He told me yesterday, Jay, that he has kicked a 70-yard field goal and would like nothing better than to get a chance in this game to try one.
Back to receive, 25, John Woolridge, and 42, Vince Workman. Workman averaging 20 yards per kickoff return, Woolridge 22, and we're underway. This is Workman. The 10, 15, 20, breaks out at the 25, steps out at the 30, and down at the 34-yard line. Workman brought down on the play by Richard Hobbs. 34-yard return. Carsados with Byers and Cooper. Carter, the fine receiver, Lanise, the tight end, Taggart for Ohio State. Maggs, big guy at center. Uhlenhake, Gilmore, Graves, and Cotterman. First down for the Buckeyes, 34-yard line. Carsados to throw, and it's complete. At the 41-yard line, Chris Carter. Carter caught 53 passes through the season, pickup of 8. Smith, Knight, and Buck are in the defensive line for BYU. Sanders, Whittingham, White, and Govea. And then Ladenko, Sherman, Sprouse, and Thomas are the defensive backs. Ohio State comes right out throwing, picks up 8, second down and 2. It's Lanise coming in motion. Carsados has time. Going long. Incomplete. Trying to go for Carter down the sideline. The coverage down there by Rodney Thomas, number 3.
And, Jay, we have a real battle going on in the center there. Bob Maggs from Ohio State outweighs Ken Smith by about 50 pounds in the center. You can see number 65 there against 71. That should be a big play today. Whether they determine who's going to decide the actual control of that line, and that's going to be a big key, Jay.
Maggs has had some back spasms. 3rd down and 2. That's Harris in the game now, and he comes in motion. And the pitch back to Byers. 1st down. Byers gets 2 tough yards to the outside. Byers, the senior from Dayton, Ohio. We talked to him earlier this week. The doctors are considering putting a pin in that injured foot of his. A decision to be made in the next couple of weeks.
And, Jay, that 218 yards that he has this year, that is not indicative of the talent that this young man has. When he is running healthy, he's averaging over 4.5 to 5 yards per carry, and he looks very healthy out there today.
1st down at the 45-yard line. Lanise back in there. A little shovel goes to Cooper. Cooper at midfield. And Cooper has a 1st down as he moves to the 42-yard line. Rob Ledenko, the strong safety, number 9, there to make the tackle, a pickup of 14 yards.
And, Jay, this is an interesting pass because he drops back. It looks like no one's there. Now, you'll see 44 Cooper. He underhands the ball to him. Cooper just finds the seam, picks up a lot of yardage. A very interesting play for this Ohio State team early.
Nate Harris back in at wide receiver, number 1. That's him coming in motion again. A little delay. Byers trying to get outside, couldn't do it. Coming up to make a wonderful play was the cornerback Jeff Sprouse, number 25. He's a senior from La Canada, California.
And, Jay, the first thing I looked at when I saw Byers here was his start to the left. Now watch, he's going to cut all the way back. Now this is the test on that foot injury, whether he can sprint to the outside. He looks like he has fine speed, but Sprouse comes up, makes a nice tackle, chops his legs out from him. But Byers looks like he has that speed he started the season with.
Earl Bruce sending in the plays with the wide receivers, Lanise and Harris. Lanise, number 1, back in the game. Carsados in trouble. Down he goes. Breaking across was Kurt Govea, number 34. A fierce pass rusher from Hawaii. In high school, he was the MVP on his high school team, not only on offense, but on defense.
First time ever in that state's history to have a most valuable player on both sides. Said he liked to play quarterback and liked to tackle him, Jay.
And the University of Hawaii didn't even offer him a scholarship. We're going to have 3rd down coming up. 12:25 to play, 1st quarter, 40th Citrus Bowl here in Orlando, Florida. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you are this afternoon. John Woolridge in the game, number 25 at tailback now for Ohio State. Carsados slips, gets the pass away, incomplete. He was trying to get it to Carter down at the 30-yard line. The ball came up way short as Carsados had a little trouble with his footing. Ledenko and Thomas had the coverage.
Well, Carter really did break a little bit into the open. You see he's pulling up short here. Now he falls down also. They're not really used to running on this soft. It's very soft field. It's a bent grass field. It's very, very closely cut, so traction could play an important part in this game also, Jay.
Tom Tupa, the punter, a sophomore, averaging 42.5, 44.1 net punting last year, the best in the nation. Tupa punting. By Sikahema, downfield, fair catch at the 15-yard line. So we've got a timeout here in the 1st quarter in Orlando. Brigham Young University and Ohio State, they're scoreless.
If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get.
Dogs. No, actually, Bud Light.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, ask for Bud Light.
Yours?
No, because everything else
Give me a light.
Showtime.
is just a light.
Since its introduction in the U.S., BMW has outperformed the energy crisis, the economic crisis, single-handedly caused the automotive identity crisis, and now makes its most powerful argument against the midlife crisis. All 3 Series BMWs now have the added advantage of a 5th and 6th cylinder. For a test drive, contact your authorized BMW dealer.
With Dave Rowe, Jay Randolph, Tom Hammonds on the sidelines. Citrus Bowl, 1985. Here comes BYU offensively, first time this afternoon. They're missing Kozlowski and Kelly, 2 of their fine offensive stars, both out with injuries. Bosco on first down. Bosco complete. Out at the 18-yard line, Scott Norberg, number 85, making the catch. Bosco with Himuli and Sikahema. It's Norberg, Bellini, and Mullaney, and then McCullough, Tidwell, Borgia, Wright, and Robinson in the offensive line. Big offensive line. Second down, 7 at the 18-yard line. Bosco on the run, and he gets it out to Himuli. Himuli stopped short of the first down at the 25-yard line by Greg Rogan, number 29. Here's the defensive line for Ohio State. Ritter and Lee and Sullivan, along with the other Lee over there. Byron Lee, Spielman, Johnson, and Kulik. Gordon White, along with William White and Rogan. 3rd down and 1. That's Sikahema. First down. Sikahema averaging 6.6 per carry. Young man born in Tonga. We call them the Tonga Connection, or the Tonga Twisters if you try to pronounce all of their names. 7 players from Tonga on this BYU team.
Now watch Sikahema here, 23. He's going to try to get wide. Now he sees the seam. He knows what the yardage is, cuts back inside. That is one little tough kid out there. He is a dynamite player for this team.
Chris Spielman, a very intense competitor at linebacker, 36, made the tackle. First down for the Cougars. In motion, Mullaney, the tight end. Little screen out to Himuli. Himuli's at the 32, and that's about as far as he can go, as Pepper Johnson made the big play. We'll call his number a lot this afternoon, I figure, number 98. There's Himuli, 7 yards average.
Here's Pepper Johnson, number 98. Look at the range of motion he has. He has to get all the way back outside and pick up Himuli outside. Now, he doesn't let him fake him out there, just chops out his legs. You know, it's funny, he wouldn't even smile yesterday during the picture taking, Jay.
A lot of people have kidded him about leaving the state of Michigan to play at Ohio State. He's from Detroit. Second down. Ball batted. Incomplete. The Ohio State defense had a big play there from John Sullivan, who's starting in place of Kummerow today. Sullivan, 57, at the outside linebacker spot.
And Jay, I questioned why he started. I couldn't understand. Number 57 is a freshman. He hasn't played a lot this season, but he makes a big play here. Of course, we know that Kummerow has an ankle injury, and maybe that was a big factor in determination why John Sullivan started in his place, but it was quite surprising to me.
3rd down and 7. Bosco too high. He was trying to get it to Mark Bellini. Along the sideline, the coverage by Greg Rogan, 29.
And Jay, Ohio State has really gone to an interesting defense. They're putting 3 men up on the line of scrimmage. They're dropping the nose man back into the short zone, and they're only rushing 2 defensive linemen, dropping 9 deep to protect against Robbie Bosco and try to disrupt his passing game.
Number 20 is Kevin Towle, a business major from Walnut Creek, California, a walk-on, averaging 41.2 per punt. Mike Lanise, the brilliant senior, is back to receive. Lanise at the 23. Lanise at the 25-30, penalty marker down, Lanise out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Jay McDonald, number 97, there for BYU, but there is a marker down. It was a 45-yard punt, a 25 or a 20-yard return if it stands.
Jay, that is going to go back against Ohio State. It was a clip on the play. But as you said, Lanise almost made it to that wall of blockers. They try to get outside, sit up that wall, and he runs down the sideline. But there was one player who just didn't have the angle enough to hit the BYU player straight on, so it's a clip play. It's going to bring it back inside the 20.
Clipping. The referee today is Vincent Price. Our officials from the Collegiate Independent Football Association and the ACC.
Now there's the clip. You can see he just didn't get his head in front. He caught him in just the backside of his shoulder. Very, very close play. You saw the flag go in our camera picture there.
And it'll back Ohio State up. All just inside the 10-yard line. We'll take a timeout with 9:06 remaining first quarter.
We're not a company.
But we'll give you a chance to work where there's always a challenge.
We'll give you opportunities to learn, to develop.
To perfect skills that you thought were beyond your reach.
We'll help you build a career that can reward you for the rest of your life.
We're not a company.
We're your country.
We're the Army.
The Navy.
The Air Force.
The Marines.
We're the Armed Forces.
It's a great place to start.
That spicy barbecue buffalo burger has started to send you smoke signals. Alka-Seltzer to the rescue. Alka-Seltzer relieves the acid indigestion that's hot on your trail and also quiets the tom-toms in your head. So when your stomach and head go on the warpath, send Alka-Seltzer to the rescue and bring peace to your body fast.
Alka-Seltzer to the rescue.
With best wishes for a happy holiday season, our electronic greetings card from the folks at NBC Sports.
Jay, this is the defense I was talking about. Ohio State's rushing 3 linemen. Now watch Kolick in the center, number 33. He just attracts the center. Now he's going to drop back in the short zone. You'll see that the BYU men have nobody to block. They're all looking around. They're dropping 9 men deep in coverage, trying to get pressure on Bosco with just 2 outside ends.
Ready to go for Ohio State. John Woolridge is in the backfield now at tailback, number 25, the junior from Akron, Ohio. He's averaged 4.9 per rush.
First and 10.
In motion, that's Mike Lanise. And the give goes to George Cooper. Byers on the bench. And we get word that maybe that foot of his is bothering him.
Leading the defense, number 77.
Let's go down to Tom Hammond. Tom.
Jay, Keith Byers, in fact, as you noted, was not in the game. After that first series, he had some pain in his foot. The foot was hurting him. The team doctor says they're going to hold him out for a while and see if it gets better, but he's on the sideline right now.
Well, he had hoped to be ready to really roll today. Second down. That's Harris going in motion. Carsanos wants to put it up. He throws. It's complete. That is Vince Workman, freshman from Dublin, Ohio, who caught 5 passes during the regular season. Kerry Whittingham, 53, the linebacker, making the tackle, a pickup of 9 yards, first down.
And Jay, I hate to see Keith Byers on the sideline. In talking with him, he was really excited about this game. This was a showcase for him as become a professional. He was hoping for a big day. You can see the disappointment. He has had just the most frustrating season that anybody can possibly have.
He said he didn't like people to use that word when they talked about it, but truly enough, that is the way to describe it for him. It's been tough. Lanise goes wide to the right in motion. A little delay, and this is Woolridge. And he is barely back to the line of scrimmage. Might have lost a yard. Woolridge met on the play by Govea. Boy, he's a tough kid, number 34.
He certainly is. And we talked about that battle in the middle between Mag 71 of Ohio State, Ken Smith. They are really having a battle in there. You can see there's Maggs, the center. He's picking up 65, Ken Smith. Now they're doubling on Smith because if they drive him back, they get the angle holes through the center. That's the big game plan for Ohio State, to run up the middle.
These Cougars are more physical on defense these days than they were a couple of years ago. Second down and 11. Woolridge up the sideline, out of bounds. He got to the 26-yard line. Govea, 34, again there, along with Whittingham, 53.
Jay, I'm looking down at Keith Byers on the sideline as we look at that graphic on Workman. But there's the foot that they're trying to tape up, and you can see that he's taking off his shoe. He's got to be the saddest person of 60,000 people standing here. I know what that feeling's like. It's just like, it's the most heartfelt feeling. He's so disappointed. I just can't express the feeling I have for him at this time. It's just really a disappointment.
Well, he talked about Faith and his family and friends, how much they'd helped him this year with that problem. Here's a pass intended for Lanise, and it is incomplete. Jeff Sprouse, number 25, the left corner, had the coverage. That matchup of Lanise and/or Harris against Sprouse will be a good one this afternoon.
Yes, it will be. When they talk about defensive corners, and we have a flag on the play while we talk about this, let's see what he has to say.
Holding.
Well, it is going to be holding against Ohio State. But the point I wanted to make about Sprouse and the defensive secondary is coaches talk about the reaction time back to the ball. Anybody can backpedal, but how quickly can you get back to that receiver once they throw the ball? And Sprouse has really reacted really well so far in this game.
The holding call is refused. Punting time for Tom Tupa. His net punting average of 40.3 yards this season, 6th best in the country. As we said, he topped the nation last year. All Big Ten from Brecksville, Ohio. Probably the best punter that Ohio State has ever had. Tom Tupa. Sikahema is back to receive it. A low wobbly kick. Sikahema on the run at the 40, breaks away at the 45, midfield, right down the middle. One man to beat. Down he goes, and he fumbled, and it is recovered by Harrington. Well, you saw the speed of Sikahema. He can fly. Chris Carter made the tackle. Harrington came up with a fumble, and BYU's in good shape.
And Jay, any coach will tell you the first thing you want to do is break that initial wall. Sikahema does it. He's through the seam. The best way to pick up yardage is not to go wide, but go straight up the field. When you see that seam, makes just a fantastic run, picks up a big yardage, and they're in scoring position.
We'll take a timeout. There's no score.
This is what a BMW computer says to its engine. And this is what a BMW engine does with that information.
My wife was having our second child, and so Anthony and I were on our own. And we went to the store, and I picked up a bargain baby shampoo, not Johnson's. I thought I was just helping out, but we used it, and Anthony got some shampoo in his eyes, and he began to cry. And I felt awful.
They may say baby shampoo, but many bargain brands sting, irritate eyes. Only Johnson says no more tears.
No more tears isn't just an ad slogan. It's very real. We're sticking with Johnson's.
On the sideline, Keith Byers sitting at the end of the Ohio State bench. They have retaped his foot, and they hope to get him back in the game. They hope to hold him out one series and see if it got better. But during that first offensive series of the Buckeyes, Byers did have pain in the foot that caused him to miss most of this season. Now, of course, he is planning on perhaps having an operation done, a pin inserted to strengthen it. Perhaps he can come back today. They're not sure. Right now, he's gotten it retaped. He's going to test it. He's talking to the team doctor. He may return. He may not. It's still in the air.
And many pro scouts are sitting in watching this one today. All right, BYU has David Miles, 26 at wide receiver. That's Bellini coming in motion. Handoff to Sikahema, and a fumble. Sikahema lost the football at the 15, and Ohio State says they have it. It was Pepper Johnson who came up with that football, and Lavelle Edwards sees a golden opportunity for his Cougars go down.
Jay, turnovers will kill you faster than anything. You just cannot fumble the ball. Now watch Sikahema. It's a slant action. He gets through the hole nice nicely. Now you'll see on the tail end of this ball, see the ball just out there in the open? Good hit there, but the safety came up. The ball was ripped clean. Ouch, that really hurt BYU.
William White was the man that dislodged the football. First down, Ohio State from their own 16-yard line. Pitch back comes to Woolridge. Woolridge gets to the 20 and is bumped out of bounds. Sproul's 25 and Mark Sherman, number 5, were there to make the play. They're going to spot the ball right along the 20, and there's a penalty marker down. I see the penalty marker now, Dave, on the far sideline at about the 18. Holding again against Ohio State. So penalties hurting the Buckeyes' opportunities here in the early going to control the football and move the football the way they feel they need to do this afternoon.
They have got to play ball control offense where they control the ball and use up the clock. You know, I've seen him jump off there twice, have holding calls, and Larry Cotterman, number 72, now he told me that he was going to jump off sides one time so his mom would see him and he could get managed, but so he'd get mentioned.
Right now, let's pause for station identification. This is the NBC television network. With Dave Rowe, Jay Randolph, Tom Hammonds along the sidelines. Keith Byers out of the football game with that foot injury again. Ohio State backed up now to their 7-yard line. 6:50 to play. First quarter, no score. Citrus Bowl, the 40th annual event from Orlando. Carsado's throwing on the run, and it is incomplete. Well, I don't think Carter was the intended receiver. The pass was underthrown as Carsados was hit. I think he was trying to get it to Lanise. Sean Knight, number 77 for the Cougars, the man that banged in there.
Yes, it was a throw to Lanise, but the ball just really came off of Carsados' hand wrong, and it just kind of fluttered out. They were really lucky that that ball was not intercepted. You can maybe see it fluttering up there. Carter makes a good try at it. He really should have had it. It was almost right in his hands.
Carter comes into today's game needing 3 catches to set an Ohio State single-season reception record. Bill Anders set the previous record, 55 catches back in '66. Lanise goes to the far side. Woolridge to about the 12-yard line. Whittingham again, 53 there to make the tackle.
And Jay, you talked about this Ohio State team passing more yardage than what they've run for. That's uncharacteristic of Ohio State. They say when Woody Hayes was there, he didn't even have passing gear in his car.
Yes, we heard that from Lou Holtz yesterday, who gave a marvelous speech at the awards luncheon. Been a great week here in Orlando. The Citrus Bowl Committee and the Florida Citrus Association have just opened the doors with hospitality and fun for all of us. Carsados, 4th in national passing efficiency coming into today's game. A very poised leader. 3rd down now and 14. Complete to Vince Workman. Workman, the freshman, twice All-Ohio, a parade All-American in high school. 10-yard pickup on the play. They're short of the first down, and Tupa will come on to do the punting again. Coverage that time by Thomas, number 3 for BYU. There is Keith Byers. Keith, out of Dayton, Ohio, the senior, sitting it out right now. By Sikahema. Downfield, the dangerous returner. Another one of the young men on the Cougar squad from Tonga. Tupa's kick. He comes up. Sikahema has it at the 45. Trying to get outside. And he makes it to the 49-yard line. He's an exciting performer. 36-yard punt, 8-yard return. The Cougars will have it with 5:45 remaining to be played in the first quarter. And we've got a timeout here at the Florida Citrus Bowl. Time in for this.
What was once the leisure class is now giving way to a far less leisurely class. Distinguished by a tendency to exercise more than just their stock options. And by a car that makes the age-old status symbols seem like just that. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Give Give me a light. Whoa. Bud Light.
If you just ask for a light beer...
Hey, can I have a light? Whoa.
You never know what you'll get.
Give me a light. Bud Light.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, don't just ask for a light beer.
Give me a light.
Ask them to bring out their best.
Bud Light.
Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
College football's best and brightest are on NBC with 5 of America's top 6 teams. Number 5 Michigan battles 6th-ranked Nebraska at the Fiesta Bowl. Then the Rose Bowl pits UCLA against number 3 Iowa. And the Orange Bowl is the setting as number 1 Penn State battles 2nd-ranked Oklahoma for the national championship. New Year's Day, the best and brightest are on NBC.
Sold out Orlando Stadium. A look from the Goodyear Blimp Enterprise. From Pompano Beach, Florida, Captain Richard Daniels. From Long Beach, California, at the controls up there. This is the 60th consecutive year that the Goodyear Blimps have covered America's major sporting events. Happy to have them on hand this afternoon. Bellini coming in motion. Bosco. Out to Trevor Bellini. And Bellini's across the 50 down to the 49-yard line. Latest report on Byers is that he may not return this afternoon. That's tough news.
And Jay, we're talking about the defense of Ohio State and how they're mixing it up. Now look at this. This is a linebacker, Larry Kolick, number 33. He's a linebacker playing a nose tackle, just trying to get that penetration. They are doing everything they can to disrupt the passing game of Robbie Bosco. Gets back and makes the tackle.
The Buckeyes go into a prevent defense. Bosco down the middle and incomplete. He had his tight end, Trevor Bellini, the sophomore from Reno, Nevada, in the seam down there. Terry White, the safety, had the coverage. The pass just a little too long.
And he read the pass just perfectly. You couldn't read a better pass play on that. He threw it just over the outstretched fingertips. About 6 inches would have made a difference in that play.
I want you, when we get a little farther along, to be able to talk about this passing offense of BYU and what they do differently than most college teams with their reads. It's really more like the pro game.
It's a very sophisticated pro offense passing game.
3rd down, 8. Bosco, a lot of time, going for the long one again. Bellini, he was out of bounds, and the coverage, very good coverage by Rogan, the cornerback, number 29.
Now here again, Jay, they've only rushing 2 defensive linemen on 3rd down and long. There's 36, Golick. Now watch, he's going to drop back into coverage. He's back, they're rushing 2 linemen. They're saying, hey, we know that we can't rush you and frustrate you. We're going to drop 9 bad men back and try to defend you. That's giving up a lot to Robbie Bosco.
Kevin Towle will do the punting. Mike Lanise, the Rhodes Scholar, back to receive. Oh, good-looking kick. And it stays inbounds. It'll go into the end zone, out to the 20-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10. 49-yard punt, still no score.
Finally, a good, strong cup of coffee that's also incredibly smooth. New Marigore Bowl from Taster's Choice. It begins with the world's fullest flavored gourmet coffee beans, roasted long, roasted dark, until they're ready to burst with rich coffee flavor. For a strong, smooth cup of coffee, new Marigore Bold and Marigore Bold naturally decaffeinated. 2 bold new reasons why the choice for taste is Taster's Choice.
I thought this demonstration was just advertising, but Denorex tingles. Tells me it's doing more. Regular Head and Shoulders, no tingle.
Both have dandruff medicine, but Denorex adds an extra anti-itch medicine and conditioner, too.
Goodbye, Head and Shoulders. Hello, Denorex.
Look, his nose is clogged. See? Hardly any breath shows. Now, Dristan Long-Lasting. Just 1 spray treatment has the staying power to clear congestion as long as 6 4-hour cold capsules. That's 12-hour relief.
I'm breathing.
Dristan Long-Lasting Nasal Spray.
We'd expected a big play game. Up to now, the defenses have done very well. Bosco has 13 yards passing. Carsato's 41. And Ohio State is not giving the short passes to BYU.
Absolutely, Jay. What they're doing is they're dropping men shallow back in the zones. They're bringing a nose man back, dropping him in the zone, and they're forcing Bosco to have to go long. When you play defense, you have to give up something. Today, they're going to give up the long pass to BYU. They're saying, if you can complete it long on us, go ahead, but we're not giving you the short ones.
All right, Ohio State, first down from the 20. Carsados pitching back, and coming out to the 24-yard line is Woolridge. Woolridge hit on the play by Thomas, number 3, and Sprouse, number 5. Robbie Bosco, they're talking with him about what's happening out there.
Now, Jay, he has a very quick mind. He's able to read defenses very well. I'm sure this is confusing him because of the short zone. He's used to throwing those little short passes out to his running backs, to his tight end coming across. Now he's having to throw long because he's seeing 6 people drop off the line of scrimmage, the linebackers and the defensive line.
Lanise going in motion. That's Vince Workman. Workman gets a couple before Whittingham, 53, stalls him. He got out to the 27-yard line, maybe the 28.
And, Jay, it's really important for Ohio State here to get back to their game plan. They've had a lot of steam taken out of them with Byers sitting down and being out. That really affects your offensive unit. Everybody looks around and says, oh, boy, what are we going to do now? It's really important that they get back to their game plan and do what they've done so well all season.
I'm sure a lot of the fellas thought, well, Byers is ready to play, and we're going to have him, and now that has changed, and they do have to concentrate on what they need to do without him. Workman is out to the 31-yard line. Looks like he's got the first down, as Gary Whittingham, 53, and Kurt Govea, 34, were there.
And, Jay, when you have an offensive line like Ohio State has, the weight that they have, they are a huge offensive line. They have got to come out and play power football. They've got to each control their man on the line of scrimmage, play straight-ahead football. This is not finesse. This is straight-ahead power football.
Barry Walker, number 43, is in the backfield, a junior from Lancaster, Ohio now, working with Vince Workman. Lanise coming in motion on first down. Carsados, lots of time, throws, and it is complete to Chris Carter. Carter, first down at the 47-yard line. 16-yard pickup. As we told you, he needed 3 for the record coming into today's game.
Now, Jay, watch the tail end of this. You won't believe, Carter, how he's hit. The great receivers concentrate on the ball. Once they get hit, they squeeze that ball. Now, watch Carter. Up in the air, out of control. There's a hit. Spins around. Look at that concentration. Hold on that ball. Even puts his other hand over there to almost cradle it. Great reception by Chris Carter.
Carter has caught 2 for 23.
Knock it up behind the line.
Doug Smith is in there now, replacing Carter. And a halfback pass incomplete. That was Doug Smith, actually. Penalty marker goes down. Smith coming around, trying to throw the pass. Steve Sanders, 59, was there on the play, had the coverage.
Jay, we may have an ineligible lineman downfield because the play took a long time. That's the signal, an ineligible lineman downfield. This is a reverse with a pass. Now, you'll see the reverse action. Right there, you'll see it flip back to the wide receiver coming around. Now, he's looking. What he's supposed to do is throw it right now, but he throws it a little bit late, throws it in the ground, and they've got a lineman downfield. That's loss of down.
Eligible receiver downfield, loss of down, 5 yards, second down.
So it'll be second down from the 41-yard line. We have 2 minutes and 49 seconds left to play. A scoreless first quarter to this point. The Buckeyes and the Cougars, the 40th Citrus Bowl here in Orlando. Lanise is in motion, coming to the near sideline. Woolridge at the 45 slips down. A couple of these Ohio State players have had trouble with the footing. Sprouse and Thomas, number 25 and number 3, converge to make the play. Actually, they spot the ball short of the 45 at the 44.
Jay, when we walked down on the field, I was looking at the field, the high crown in the field. The crown is the center part of the field which causes the drainage, and they are running actually downhill. The grass is a very short cut grass. It's very, there's not much nap to it, so that you've talked about there isn't much cutting ability. You can't use the grass. You have to plant those spikes in the turf and turn.
Wonder if that had something to do with the injury to Byers. Lanise goes to the far sideline, and penalty markers go down. Delay of game. Ohio State. Referee Vincent Price, and there's an idea as we give you a look at the crown on this field. I think that shot there by our director Dick Klein and his crew gives you an idea of the situation down there. It is very severe, the crown on this playing field. Carter going to the left side. Lanise comes out to the right. Third down, 17 from the 39-yard line. And incomplete. Carsados threw into double coverage trying to get that ball to Lanise, and Lanise almost held on. Sanders 59 and Sprouse 25 were there.
And Jay, the game plan of the BYU defense is quite different than Ohio State. They're saying, hey, we're going to bring people, we're going to disrupt Carsados, we're going to get back there and put a lot of pressure on him, force him to run around back in that pocket, try to disrupt his timing, and they're doing a good job of it.
Tom Tupa will do the punting, and again by Sikahema is back to receive. Sikahema, the speedster from Mesa, Arizona. Kick is away, and it's a beauty. Sikahema at the 12. Down he goes at the 10. Downfield for Ohio State, making the big play, Scott Leach, a reserve linebacker, number 8. 49-yard punt.
You said Sikahema went down. He almost went down without his head that time because Leach came in there and collared him right around the neck and just ripped him to the ground. Excellent coverage. That's the kind of ball that you almost say you ought to let go into the end zone because it's right on the 10-yard line. Most pro coaches will tell you, don't catch the ball there, let it go into the end zone.
The Cougars average better than 500 yards total offense, better than 33.5 points a game. Tom T. Upulotu is in the ball game, and there he is. Tui Peloto from San Mateo, California, number 46. Pepper Johnson, Chris Spielman, 98 and 36, made the stop. A pickup of about 8 on the play. Tui Peloto, 587 yards, 6.5 average during the season. Another member of the group from Tonga.
Yes, we have a list of those Tonganese, I guess you'd call them. Wonderful fellows. Really a pleasure to talk to.
Now Sikahema is back in there, and Sikahema looked like he didn't quite get the first down. John Sullivan, 57, the freshman who got the start this afternoon over Kummerow because of the ankle injury, made the stop. It's going to be third down.
And that's a play that Ohio State sees every day. Short, quick trap in there. They played it wonderfully. John Sullivan jammed down the trap, closed it, and Sikahema had nowhere to go. He just couldn't bounce it outside or inside. Just came up with no yardage.
David Miles, number 26, in at wide receiver, replacing Norberg. This is Bellini coming in motion. Almost intercepted. Oh, right in the hands of Larry Kolick, as Bosco was trying to go over the middle, and he just didn't see Kolick.
Well, what Kolick is doing, as he drops back, he's playing the eyes of Bosco. You'll see him right on top of the center. Now he's playing the eyes of Bosco. Bosco does a good job looking off there. Right there is Kolick that jumps. Look at that, hits him right in the chest. That would have been a big play for Ohio State had they been able to intercept that ball. They were really lucky on BYU's team.
Kevin Towle will do the punting. 14 seconds left in the first period. Lanise back to receive. A low kick, and they're going to let it go. It comes all the way inside the 40-yard line to the 38, and Ohio State will have it there.
Jay, when I talked about him playing the eyes, it's really an interesting play. Now watch this. You'll see as he drops back, Kolick is over the center, number 33. Now when I say he's playing the eyes, he's looking at Bosco. Where Bosco looks, Bosco's looking to his right, comes back to his left, and there's Kolick. Watch him jump.
That's the end of the first quarter with no score.
44-yard punt a moment ago. End of the first quarter, no score.
At Duracell, we had to go to the ends of the earth just to top our own Copper Top. Introducing the new, highly improved Copper Top battery. So improved, it'll last up to 30% longer than any battery we've ever made. The new Copper Top. We go to great lengths to stay ahead of the pack. Duracell, when it comes to making them last longer, we never stop.
No better land to grow wine. No better wines than Gallo wines today. Today's Gallo. All the best a wine can be.
The flashing numerals 3-4. Quite a surprise. Up to this point, the defenses have prevailed.
Jay, we talked about offense, about BYU averaging 500 yards per game. They are certainly not doing it in this first quarter. Ohio State has really confused BYU on offense.
BYU's offense outscored their opponents by 20 points per game this season. Right now, we have a scoreless game as we move into the second quarter. Lanise in motion. Second man through, Woldridge. Woldridge has a first down at the 50-yard line. Rob Ledenko, a senior from the city of Chilton, Washington, made the stop. 12-yard pickup.
And Jay, that time, number 71, Bob Maggs of Ohio State, wins the battle at the nose. You can see he gets into Ken Smith and turns him, drives him back. They did double team him, but they just really blew him off the ball, and they were able to pick up that big yardage.
And now at the nose, David Butrell, number 75, a sophomore from El Paso, Texas, in there for the Cougars. Woldridge gets a couple. Kerry Whittingham, number 53, made the stop. Woldridge with 728 yards and a 4.9 average, 9 touchdowns out of Akron, Ohio, a junior.
Jay, the one thing you want to have as a running back is vision into the hole. That time, Woolridge just put down his head and was just going to plow ahead. Had he looked to his right, he had a big hole to his right, but that's tough down in there. When you're down in that, that's no man's land.
Carter is flanked out to the right side at the top of the screen. Second down. They put Lanise in motion toward Carter. Carsados throwing, complete. Penalty marker down as Taggart, the tight end, made the catch for what would be a first down, but it may be an offside penalty. Whittingham 53 and Thomas 3 making the tackle for the Cougars. It may have been the man in motion offside.
It was. He turned up just a touch early. You have to go along there, and if you can't hear that snap count, we've got a large crowd here. If you can't hear that snap count, you get out there a little ways, and all of a sudden you're almost antsy to turn upfield, and he did just a touch early.
The penalty yardage, and this will go against Ohio State, putting it back in their territory at the 48-yard line.
Illegal motion, red, 5 yards, still second down.
Vincent Price, our referee today. The officials from the Atlantic Coast Conference and the Independent Football Officiating Association, a split crew. 13 minutes and 35 seconds left to go in the first half. We're scoreless. Second down and 12. Vince Workman gets it to the 46-yard line. Rob Ledenko, the strong safety, again, number 9, making the stop. Ledenko, who came out of Walla Walla Community College, 6'2", a senior, 4 interceptions this year, and he had a touchdown for the defense.
Very, very active at his position. Really comes up quickly, makes those tackles from a safety spot, fills in there, just almost immediately comes up on that running play.
3rd down and 6. Lanise comes in motion to the near side. Carsados throws out, and it is complete to Cooper. Cooper's got the first down. Fine effort by Cooper as he got it to the 37-yard line before he was tripped up by Whittingham, 53, and Ludenko, number 9. 9-yard pickup on the play. Cooper, out of Wyandotte, New York, had caught 11 passes for only 82 yards coming into today's game, but looked good on that play.
He certainly did, Jay, and I get the feeling that this Ohio State team has recovered from the injury of Byers. They're starting to get back in their game plan. Now it's important that BYU gets back into its disruption. The great teams are able to almost recover from adversity.
Carsado shovels it to Cooper. Cooper gets to the 33-yard line. Big Jason Buck, number 99, along with Steve Sanders, 59, making the play.
Jay, that's not as easy a play as it looks like, because you're running, trying to look upfield, and the ball is tossed underhand to you, so it's almost right at your waist, and if you take your eye off it for just a second, you fumble it.
Second down and about 5 at the 32-yard line. Handoff going to Workman, and Workman can find nothing going on the right side as Ledenko makes a very fine play.
There's a vintage Ledenko play. We talked about how quickly he comes up from the secondary position. He just really burrowed into Workman. You'll see him there, number 9. Now watch how quickly. He's way back to your left. He's a safety. Now as soon as Workman bounces outside, there he is. Boom. Comes up, good hit, holds the leg, drops him down for no yardage. Excellent play.
3rd down. They're 4 out of 8 on 3rd down situations. That was Rollridge, and I don't think he's got it. No, he comes up short as Jason Buck, number 99, put the wraps on him. Buck was a first-team All-American at Ricks College in Idaho. And let's see, are we going to have Spangler come in? We are. Rich Spangler, the senior from Geneva, Ohio, 290 career points. He'll be attempting a 47-yard field goal. Came into the Citrus Bowl having missed 4 of his last 6 regular season field goal attempts. It's long enough. It's good. '47-yard field goal. Buckeyes 3-0.
We're not a company, but we recognize potential. We develop it. We use it. We'll make sure that as your responsibility grows, so will you. As your ability for leadership grows, so will you. Working with us, you'll gain self-confidence. Become a person with a future. We're not a company. We're your country. We're the Marines, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force. We're the armed forces. It's a great place to start.
This year, Federal Express is going to Europe. And to help celebrate, we've invited everyone who's ever been in a Federal Express commercial.
Accustomed as I am to public speaking, I would just like to say this certainly is a momentous occasion. I am certainly moved by it all. And this will particularly...
We're going to make sending a package to Europe as easy and reliable as it is here, with 2-day service in our own planes to London, Paris, Frankfurt, Zurich, Amsterdam, and Brussels. Federal Express to Europe. Why fool around with anyone else?
The 1985 Florida Citrus Bowl Classic is brought to you by Ford, who invites you to drive the new Ford Taurus. Have you driven a Ford lately? By John Hancock Financial Services, meeting today's needs with a range of financial products. And by Duracell, the copper top battery. When it comes to making them last longer, we never stop.
Ohio State going 8 plays, 32 yards, and getting the 47-yard field goal from Spangler. Ohio State will have Spangler kicking off to Sekahema, and to John Oates as you look at the Ohio State crew. Oates, who is back to receive, number 82, ran into a cameraman, not one of our NBC cameramen, during the pregame, and he cut his mouth. We didn't know if he was going to be able to play or not. I don't know whether he had any stitches or not, but he was bleeding pretty good down there.
Well,
there he is.
I'll tell you, Jay, you couldn't keep a player out of this game. If he's healthy, he'll be out there playing. And as a wide receiver, you don't need your mouth. Look at the blood on the front of his shirt.
6 stitches, I get word now. Boy, he did do some bleeding, didn't he? Woo. All right. Spangler kicks off. Sekahema not going to bring it out. And BYU down 3-0 will start from the 20-yard line. The BYU high-powered offense not yet been able to get on track here against Ohio State, as we have 10:22 left to play first half. Passing yardage, only 13 yards for BYU here in the early going.
But, Jay, I'll tell you this about Robbie Bosco. They say he has a very quick mind, can pick up defenses. They're making changes and adjustments with him on the sideline. He will still have a good day. Fear not.
That's Bellini going in motion. A little delay, and on the move, Hamuli. Hamuli near a first down at the 29-yard line, where Pepper Johnson, number 98, makes the play for the Buckeyes.
And, Jay, that's one of the adjustments that they're making. Now, that was a little draw play to Hamuli. All they did is they're saying, okay, if you're not going to rush the lineman, you're going to drop him back. We're going to fool you with a draw. This is a cat and mouse game, back and forth. Adjustments on offense, adjustments on defense, back and forth.
Hamuli is perhaps the most probable pro prospect down the road for BYU as a running back. Bosco on the run. First down. Robbie Bosco scrambling. Remember last year he was the Holiday Bowl MVP. The Cougars not playing in the Holiday Bowl, first time in 7 years.
Now watch this coverage here. You'll see that they're dropping their men deep. They're picking up all zone coverage. The pass is to the left of your screen there. Bosco has nobody. You can see everyone in a white shirt has a red shirt waiting for him. They're dropping 8 men back on that play. There's just no one to throw to. Bosco had to pick up the yardage on his own. That's not something that he does well, run with the ball.
First down at the 30-yard line. Bosco wants to put it up. He does, and it is complete to Vai Sekahema, and now incomplete. He did not hold that ball long enough. Sekahema caught 36 passes during the regular season. The coverage there by the Roverback, Sonny Gordon, number 7, a junior from Middletown, Ohio.
And Pepper Johnson had a little bit something to do with that play, too, and the tail end of this. You just don't have time to take the ball in. You can see right there, in comes the coverage. Boom, he stuck him there. It's right Pepper Johnson. Now, Pepper Johnson said Sekahema is not going to be a factor in this game today. So far, he hasn't been, Jay.
Bosco has thrown 4 straight incompletions. And a big play by Eric Kummerow. Kummerow just clipped Bosco on the shoe, or Robbie would have had a first down, I believe, out at about the 44.
Now, they are really frustrating Bosco again. He's got no place to throw. You'll see he looks back. He's reading the coverage. Looks to his right. He's going to roll out of here to get out of the pressure. Now, watch Kummerow here. Just dives out, grabs 1 foot, stumbles Bosco, but look at the running room out in front of him. Wow, he would have picked up a first down, Jay.
Third down coming up. The Cougars are 1 for 4 on third down conversions this afternoon. Bosco throws. It is complete to Sekahema. He does not have enough for the first down at the 35-yard line. Greg Rogan, 29, made the play with Byron Lee, 82.
And, Jay, what you try to do as a defensive secondary is you try to take certain things away. Now, this time, they're going to let Sekahema catch the ball underneath. You'll see him to the left of your screen. Pass goes out to him. Now, look how quickly those red shirts are reacting to him. Boom, there's the first one. There's the second one coming in. There's a third one. Reaction to the ball is the name of the game when you play defensive secondary.
Kevin Towle to do the punting. Mike Lanise back to receive. Another fine kick by Towle. Lanise at the 18. 20, out of bounds. downs at the 23-yard line. Making the play was Shane Shumway down there for BYU. 45-yard punt. More in a moment.
For us, now there is a personal car that has exactly what we're looking for. Taurus, now there's an American car with the shape and the feel we've never seen before.
For all of us who demand excellence in design and function, for all of us who will not compromise, Ford listened. Ford created Taurus for us.
For us, now there's an American car that has exactly what we've been looking for. Taurus, now there's an American car with the shape and the feel we've never seen before. Ford has seen where we're going. Ford has heard us loud and clear. Ford has seen the future, and now the future is here for us. Taurus for us. Taurus for us. Have you driven a Ford? Lately?
College football's best and brightest are on NBC with the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl. The Pac-10 champion UCLA Bruins battle the third-ranked Hawkeyes of Iowa as quarterback Chuck Long makes good on his vow to be in Pasadena on New Year's Day at the Rose Bowl. The best and brightest of the bowls are on NBC Sports.
Here on the sideline, we'll first give you the update on Keith Byers. He's going to be reevaluated at halftime. It's doubtful that he will return to the game for Ohio State. Here on the BYU side, Robbie Bosco and his offensive unit huddling with the coaches now, trying to get that passing game going. They're unable to get deep. They're unable to get the short completions. They're getting pressure on Bosco. So far, the Ohio State defense has baffled the BYU passing game. Jay?
All right, Tom Hammond along the sidelines. Carsados throwing incomplete. And they may get him for grounding the ball. Let's see what the call's going to be. Steve Sanders, 59, had him in the grass back there, of course. Vince Workman, 42, appeared to be the intended receiver. It's going to be holding. A holding call against Ohio State.
It was a late play. You'll see it on the left of your screen here when Carsados, he's dropping back now there. BYU's getting good pressure. It's going to be on, looks as if it's going to be on the left part of your screen. Not there, but right there. See the jersey pulled back? Look at the referee. He looks at it, pulls out his flag, says, hey, you're holding.
The Buckeyes of Ohio State lead this game on the strength of a 47-yard field goal by Spangler. We have 7:39 to play, first half.
Illegal use of the hand, red, 5 yards, decline, second down.
Jay, I wanted to just make a note about that. It's an interesting thing. Now, I played professional football, and I always liked it when they said holding on number 73 right there, and they'd almost point to him. In college, of course, they just say on the red team or on the white team.
Boy, did you play professional football. For how many teams? 5?
5 teams, 13 years, but most notably with the Oakland Raiders.
Ah, yes, old suitcase. Happy to have you with us here today. A handoff going to George Cooper, and Cooper met by Whittingham, 53. Cooper started the day with 560 yards and a 4.6 average, 4 touchdowns on the year. He is from Wyandotte, New York, a sophomore. The Buckeyes had to rebuild this offensive line for the 1985 season, and they really did quite a job. Except for Graves, the senior, they've got Eulenhake, a freshman, and Maggs, the junior, Gilmore, a junior, Potterman, a sophomore. They've done a good job. Third down. He was out of bounds, was Vince Workman. Leon White, the linebacker, 41, had the coverage, but he took it in while he was on the white line.
I just want to say I am really surprised about the play on the offense of both teams, because when I looked at this game on paper, it looked as if neither defense could stop the other team's offense, especially Ohio State trying to stop BYU's unbelievable passing attempt game. But today, BYU has stopped Ohio State's running game. It's been a defensive struggle, something we didn't figure on, Jay.
Well, there's still a good deal of football to be played.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Tupa almost blocked. Oh, he just did get it away. Sikahema. Sikahema gets it to the 43-yard line, and that's where BYU will put it in play. 6:46 left to play in the first half. 38-yard punt. More in a moment.
Give me a light. No. Bud Light. If you just ask for a light beer,
Thanks.
you never know what you'll get.
Nah, give me a light.
No, Bud Light.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, don't just ask for a light beer.
Give me a light.
Ask them to bring out their best.
Bud Light.
Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
A new idea, like a pebble in a pond, can change the world around it. Technology from a company called TRW puts ideas to work. And when an idea gets going, there's no end to where it can lead. Tomorrow is taking shape at a company called TRW.
College football's best and brightest are on NBC as the Orange Bowl lights up the night sky. Joe Paterno leads the #1 Nittany Lions of Penn State as they battle the second-ranked Oklahoma Sooners for the national championship. Plus the pageantry of the famed Orange Bowl halftime. New Year's Day, the best and brightest of the bowls are on NBC Sports.
The life of a punter sometimes can really be exciting. Now watch Troy Long, number 28 from BYU. If he jumps out, he blocks it. Actually, Tupa kicked it underneath him rather than into his hands. That was really close to a big play.
First down for the Cougars. Bosco gets it out to Hemuli, and he has a first down at the 45-yard line of Ohio State. Sonny Gordon, the rover man, and Chris Spielman making the play. Gordon number 7, Spielman 36. Bosco, as you look at the total yards in the game, Bosco is now 3 out of his last 8 for a total of 20 yards.
The one thing about great passers is they don't let that bother them. They can throw 5 interceptions, but they'll come right back and keep on throwing, and that's what we look for Bosco to do in this game.
Norberg at the top of the screen, the handoff going to Tui Peloto, the sophomore from San Mateo, California. Pepper Johnson and Chris Spielman are there. The fellows in the middle, 98, 36. And the stop made at the 39-yard line where it'll be second down and about 3. Clock running with 5:50 left to play in the first half. 3-0. Ohio State, 47-yard Spangler field goal, the only scoring in this game. Bosco to the far side. Nice catch by Hemuli. He was the leading rusher for the last 2 seasons. An all-stater in Hawaii. Gordon, number 7, the rover, had the coverage.
Now here's 33. This time, Kolick is putting pressure on. He's a linebacker. He's not accustomed to playing down in there. He's taking up 2 people, even though he can get knocked down. They're trying now. They're really trying to mix up that defense. One time put pressure on him. One time drop those 8 or 9 people deep. They're just really trying to keep BYU off guard with this offensive powerhouse that they have passing.
Ohio State has called a timeout. Hemuli has caught 4 passes for 22 yards here in the first half. Oh, we've got timeout. 5:36 remaining in the first half. Buckeyes 3, Cougars nothing.
All the right parts in all the right places. Napa's putting smiles on American faces.
Napa means auto parts. So dependable, they may be the best part of your car. More than 100,000 parts for import and domestic vehicles are available through over 6,500 Napa stores all across the country. Or get Napa quality at garages and service outlets where you see the Napa sign. Wherever you go, Napa's the one.
All the right parts in all the right places. Napa.
Brill cream, a little dollop will do ya.
It's Dab.
Not this. New Brill Cream Mousse. A little dollop gives my hair soft, natural control all day.
New Brill Cream Men's Grooming Mousse.
Brill Cream, a little dollop will do ya. Huh, you're wearing this because of your new secretary.
Me? New improved Ice Blue Aqua Velva cools better, makes my face feel great.
But that scent, it's sinful.
Lasts longer, too.
There's something about an Ice Blue Aqua Velva, man.
Sunday, World War II's unseen battles, inside enemy headquarters and in the enemy's beds. Hal Holbrook behind enemy lines, Sunday.
The 1985 Florida Citrus Bowl 3-0 Ohio State. Bosco's lowest passing yardage this season was 151 yards versus the University of Texas El Paso upset them. He's 7 of 13 for 34 yards today. Bosco throws, and it is complete. That's Bellini at the 23-yard line. Steve Hill, who is now playing for Sonny Gordon at the rover position. Hill, number 11, who is normally the nickel back. They went right at him.
Now this is a coverage by the Smurfs. They call them back there because they're all under 5'10". You can see Bellini just curl up. That's what you want to do when it's a zone defense, a drop zone. And we talked about the offensive terminology. They pull up, they make sight adjustments. Robbie Bosco reads them, delivers the ball to them. That's what they have to work on, those sight adjustments.
On first down, the pass is caught, and down to the 6-yard line is David Miles. Miles, number 26, just a sophomore from Santa Rosa, California. Rogan and Cumero were over there, but he made a good move.
It wasn't a good pass, but great concentration by David Miles, 26. Come down with the ball, get upfield. That was a great catch. Now, you'll see the ball really is floating. See the trajectory of the ball? Great concentration by Miles. Comes down on his feet. A big, big play for this BYU offense.
Pickup of 17. First and goal to go. Cougars at the 6. Bosco over the middle, nobody there. Looked like he might be trying to go to Bellini, number 11. Bellini just couldn't get to the football. Bosco might have been throwing it away under the circumstances.
Absolutely, Jay. That's just what he did on that play. He brought Bellini in motion, and when you get a man in motion, you many times get him in single coverage. That's what they're trying to do. The mismatch, get Bellini, run him in motion so that he's single coverage because he can beat anybody one-on-one. He is a great, gifted wide receiver.
Bellini is a zoology major, number 11. You saw him there just a moment ago. He has a pet boa constrictor. That's an interesting sidelight. Bosco, penalty marker down. Bosco throws, intercepted, and we'll have to wait and see. The interception by Greg Rogan, the sophomore from Urbana, Ohio. But let's see what the penalty is. It appears the penalty will be against Ohio State.
When that flag was thrown, I thought for sure it was offensive holding because it was thrown in the backfield. But the referees are signaling that's against Ohio State. Probably the biggest play in the game right here. Now watch Bosco. He's dropping back. He doesn't have pocket protection. As he drops back, he feels the pressure from his left. He's got to scramble up. Now watch this right here. You'll see ground action. Here's where he's throwing across the grain. Look at that interception by Rogan. Just stepped right in front of the receiver.
Face mask, 5 yards, still second down.
Earl Bruce is really hot. A face mask call against Ohio State. Bruce, 54 years old, born in Pittsburgh, grew up in Cumberland, Maryland. And he is a hot coach right now. He didn't like that call at all.
I wouldn't want to be the player that did that, Jay.
Second down, goal to go at the 3.
There's ever justice, this is it. Sikahema down on the goal line, fails to control the ball. Look at Rogan, just came up with that big interception, now gets the big fumble. Oh boy, what a big play.
Ohio State will have it at their 20 when we come back.
Do you know me? This may seem puzzling, but you know me by sight and by sound. You know my TVs, my stereos. But to be really wired in, I carry the American Express card. As a chairman of Sony, I expect great reception.
To apply for the card, look for an application and take one.
The American Express card, don't leave home without it.
There are lots of remedies for minor arthritis pain, but none exactly like Bengay. Its warming power penetrates deep down, increasing circulation right where it hurts. So rub in Bengay and rub out the pain with the warming power of Bengay.
You're up. You can't sleep. So join the millions who've switched to Unison. In tests, Unison helped people fall asleep an average of 23 minutes faster than without Unison. Take Unison and fall asleep faster.
Here's the reaction along the Ohio State bench. Earl Bruce in the middle. Earl didn't want to get too excited again. He didn't want to be disappointed again, I guess. But what a big turnaround. Sikahema, 4 carries for 15 yards. He has fumbled twice, both occasions very costly. First down, Ohio State from the 20-yard line. That's George Cooper getting a couple. Ken Smith, the nose man. 65 on the stop. We've got 4 minutes and 25 seconds to go in this first half. A 47-yard field goal by Spangler of Ohio State, the only scoring. And the Cougars missing a couple of golden opportunities. One certainly when it appeared they had the touchdown.
And they missed the field goal opportunity when Sikahema fumbled down inside the 20-yard line. So that sure was a big factor. We really thought that he would have an outstanding day. He's not had it so far.
Carsados throwing, and a tremendous job by Jason Buck. Buck, number 99, from St. Anthony, Idaho, leading sack man for LaVell Edwards Cougars with 11 and a half. He was in to make the play, the crusher.
Now, what you don't want to do as a defensive lineman is get faked out by this bootleg out here. Jason Buck has great speed. He really puts the pressure on Carsados and throws it incomplete. A very good play by Jason Buck.
Carsados, who is a gourmet cook in his spare time, going to put it up. And a poor pass. He had a man open, Chris Carter. The pass was underthrown. Jeff Wilcox, number 14, in the secondary on the coverage, a junior from Midvale, Utah, but the pass poorly thrown.
It was poorly thrown. He never really got set back there when he threw it. Consequently, he threw it into the dirt in front of Carter. But you have to lead someone with Carter. You have to let him utilize that great speed when he's in the secondary. He was wide open on that play. If he had gotten it to him, that would have been a big gainer for Ohio State.
Tupa again will do the punting for the Buckeyes, and by Sikahema back to receive it. Looking up into the sun, Sikahema at the 31, and going the wrong way. Sikahema run out of bounds by Derek Eisenman, number 61. Coming up next on NBC, the journey to Super Bowl 20 begins. AFC Eastern Division rivals squaring off, the Patriots and the Jets, live from Giant Stadium. It follows this action, and Bob Costas will be along too, so stay with us on NBC Sports. Well, the ball's at the 27-yard line for the Cougars. They have 3.5 minutes with which to operate in this first half, down 3-0. That's Norberg coming in motion, number 85. Try to set up a little screen. Mooley got the football, but Chris Spielman makes an outstanding play. David, as you used to say when you were playing, he stayed at home.
He certainly did stay at home, but watch Kolick too, Jay. Kolick's playing nose tackle now. This is a slip screen, but Kolick really disrupts the screen. He gets great pressure on Bosco and just dumps him back in the end zone. Bosco falls down. As you said, Spielman stayed at home, played the screen, and they picked up about a minus 3 or 4 yards on the play.
Let's make it 2nd down and 14. Bosco over the middle, incomplete. It looked like a catchable ball for Mark Bellini. Thrown maybe just a little bit behind him, but he had a shot at it.
Well, that's what tests the real great receivers. And I'll say this, Bellini is a great receiver. Great fluid motion, but when he makes his cut inside, You're cutting across the coverage, but this is a ball he should have come down with. He should have made this reception. It's a little bit behind him, but he just didn't concentrate on it all the way in.
Cougar fans will remember he made that big catch late in the first half against Hawaii. 3rd down and 14. Bosco rolling, looking, and throwing complete. Bellini, first down at the 45-yard line. William White, number 37, had the coverage, 22-yard pickup. He had 1 foot in bounds.
And what a great throw by Bosco to come back to Bellini in this situation. He's just missed a big catch. Why not come back? Now watch the tail end of this. He just about gets his head taken off here. There goes his helmet. Ouch, that really hurt. Now watch, he's going to make a comeback. This reminds me of the Oakland Raiders. You start working back to the ball. He catches the ball. He's got 1 foot inbound. Now watch the tail end. Boom, there goes the hat off. Good concentration on that on his part.
Bellini was one of only 2 freshmen in BYU history to make the team as a walk-on. Heimuli up to the 40-yard line. Terry White, number 12, making the stop. And the Cougars trying to get something going before halftime. 15-yard pickup.
And they talk about Heimuli being one of the first people that could play professional football. He's a compact player at 5'10", about 220 pounds. They're saying with his speed and size, he could be the first Tongan player to play professional football. He's got all the tools to do it, Jay.
We've got Lance Lindley in there now at tight end, number 90. His dad used to be an assistant at BYU. He's from Smithfield, Utah. Handoff going to Tui Peloto, and he is just short of the first down as Pepper Johnson made the play for Ohio State at about the 32-yard line. Clock shows 1 minute and 55 to go in this first half. Trevor Malini back in now at tight end for Lindley. Scott Norberg into the slot on the left side. Miles also in the game, number 26. They come back against the grain with Tui Peloto, and he has the first down at the 28-yard line. Stopped there by William White, number 37, the left corner.
And BYU has totally gone away from their offensive game plan. They realize that they're not going to be able to pass. They're going to make those halftime adjustments. They've got under 2 minutes as we click off towards halftime. They'll go into halftime, make those adjustments, but right now they don't want to make a mistake. They would like to at least get a field goal out of this situation.
Tui Peloto has 26 yards on 4 carries. Bosco. No, there's the flag. I was about to say I was surprised that he's not charged there for grounding that ball. That's what he's going to be charged with on the late flag. We've got a field level look as Bosco was in trouble. Pepper Johnson and John Sullivan doing a job.
Great pressure up the middle by Pepper Johnson, but this call really, now there he's in the grass. He throws the ball out here, but I wish you could see the sideline. Look at all the Ohio State people. Hey, he grounded the ball. He grounded the ball. And the referee threw the flag, as you indicated.
Penalty will back it up to the 47-yard line of the Cougars.
And that's an interesting call because it happens at the point that he grounded the ball.
Right. Lost it down 5 yards from the spot of the pass.
Mike Sullivan, number 67, is in the game with his brother John now as Mike Sullivan replaces Kolick. Loss of 24 on this play. We've got timeout with 1:14.
Wash and go with Perks. Got too much you're busy doing to fuss around with your shampooing. Keep your hair on the go with you. Wash and go with Perks. You want a shampoo works as hard as you. Wash and go with Perks.
Perks shampoo has a drop of conditioner, so you just wash and go with great hair and no fuss.
Wash and go with Perks.
An hour from now, there'll be 50,000 fans here, eating, drinking, cheering, and groaning. Some of those fans will leave here not feeling so well. Whether it's heartburn, upset stomach, even diarrhea, they can all take one remarkable medicine for relief. Pepto-Bismol. As it coats, Pepto-Bismol relieves what's wrong, relieves it, then leaves a protective coating behind. Pepto-Bismol. For most common stomach discomforts, the one that coats is the only one you need.
3-0 Ohio State. Just a moment ago, that was BYU's first penalty of the game. It scored a 24-yard penalty on the incomplete and an incomplete pass, of course. Bosco thinking about going long, but nothing there for him except Bellini, who steps out of bounds at the 38-yard line. And Greg Rogan, again, the corner man, 29, had the coverage. Bosco and the Cougars have 1 minute and 6 seconds left to play first half.
And look at the shoulder pad on Bosco. You'll see the green grass because he's been dumped several times. He's got grass all over his left arm there. He's been down in the dirt. He's been totally disrupted, but they're still in this ball game.
Bellini to the far side, Miles to the near side. Third down. Bosco rolling, looking, back the other way, and it is complete. And it is a touchdown for David Miles and BYU. A very interesting play.
It's a throwback play. Now, wait till you see this play. This is a design play. What they do is they drop back. They start to roll out to his left. The entire offensive line goes out. They roll out to the left. And we'll see it when we come back, but he throws all the way across the field for a touchdown to David Miles.
Gary Webster will attempt the point after. It is up. It is good. And the Cougars get on the board. 52 seconds remaining first half. Here it is.
Now there's the pocket. He rolls way out. Now, look at all the offensive linemen here now. He sets, plants, waits for Miles, and throws all the way across the field. Real high pass to let Miles run underneath it. And David Miles really knows what to do with it. He dives into the end zone just inside the pontoon. It looked as if he went out of bounds on about the 1-yard line. Now, there's the roll, Jay, all the way back across the field. You'll see Miles, 26, just flashed in your picture. Now, watch Bosco. He sees him, plants, and unloads the bomb.
Miles looks like a center fielder going for this one. Miles had only caught 8 passes during the season. Today, he's caught 2 for 56 yards and a touchdown. And Bosco is now 13 of 22, 134 yards, and the score.
And Jay, I'll tell you this, he was out of bounds on the 1-yard line. I don't want to. Our cameramen are unbelievable. They picked that up. I thought he went out of bounds, and in fact, he did go out of bounds. Now watch the tail end of this. You watch his right foot. I thought he stepped on the white. Now watch his right foot all the way. Now watch. Right in. Next step, Jay. How about right there? That's out of bounds.
8 plays, 73 yards. It's also a touchdown.
Oh, thank you, big guy.
39-yard pass. Bosco to Miles. 52 seconds left to go in this first half, and BYU has the lead.
How come all the guys always say, "Hi, Mom"? How come they never say, "Hi, Dad"?
There's Lavelle Edwards.
Oh, he's got a little bit less of a frown on his face. I looked at him. I don't think he ever smiles.
NCAA Coach of the Year last season. It is Cougars won the national championship. His teams led the nation in passing 8 times. Earl Bruce. National College Coach of the Year. And the Big Ten Coach of the Year in '79. Ohio State almost won it all that time around. And lost by 1 point to USC in the Rose Bowl, did them in. The kick coming down to Workman, and it'll come out to the 20-yard line. That was Ormsby kicking off, the young man from New Zealand. Well, on New Year's Day, the best of the bowls. Boy, what a day we've got for you. Showcasing 5 of the nation's top 6 teams at 1:30 Eastern Time, the Fiesta Bowl, matching the Michigan Wolverines against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Then the attention will shift to the granddaddy of them all out in Pasadena. Chuck Long, Iowa Hawkeyes battling the Pac-10 champion UCLA Bruins. And then following the Rose Bowl, a game that may determine the national championship, of course, #1 ranked Nittany Lions of Penn State, Oklahoma Sooners, live from the Orange Bowl in Miami. Join us New Year's Day. Out of the backfield, Vince Workman. Workman took it, got it up to the 32-yard line before Rob Ladenko made the tackle for the Cougars.
You did say that was my alma mater, the Nittany Lions. I mean, we are number one in the nation.
I didn't say it was your alma mater, but it certainly is. Penn State in the Orange Bowl. New Year's night. Carsados going long, overthrows Carter. Rodney Thomas, number 3, had the coverage back there, along with Mark Sherman. No, you'll want to stay with us for a wonderful halftime show. Both the bands of Brigham Young and Ohio State will be featured, along with some very special entertainment. 28 seconds left to go in this first half. Carsados, 8 of 18 for 82 yards. Woolridge. Woolridge gets to the 40-yard line, and penalty markers go down. Leon White, number 41, credited with the tackle there. And we'll see what our referee Vincent Price and his crew come up with here. 21 seconds left in the first half. Face mask, second face mask call of the game.
Now you can see it on the tail end here as he's going down. Now watch this cut back inside. You'll see him. He'll cut back inside. Now there's the face mask. See the left hand, number 41 on BYU. But if they can pick up about another 10 to 15 yards, they could be well within the range of Gary Webster, because when he kicked that field goal before, he made it by at least 12 to 15 yards.
Rich Spangler.
Excuse me, I meant to say Rich Spangler.
All right, 21 seconds left to go in this first half. Carsados throwing and complete. That's Chris Carter. He's the key man in the pass offense. Jeff Sproul's had the coverage. They've got 11 seconds left. 18-yard pickup, and Ohio State's going to call timeout.
And they talk about Chris Carter and his great speed. He certainly had it on that one.
And we'll be back here in Orlando in a moment.
Here's to you, Beechwood Age, for that clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
This Bud's for you.
Warm moments on a cold winter night. Good conversation, easy and light. And how about something for your appetite? Let our gentle flame cook up something right. Warm moments for those warm moments. Nothing warms you like gas.
Warm is what natural gas is all about. Clean, efficient, in fact, America's best energy value. Shouldn't it be in your home?
Nothing warms you like gas.
Ohio State's Rich Spangler's already kicked a 47-yarder today. He is waiting in the wings for another opportunity. Chris Carter, with 3 receptions for 41 yards, sets an Ohio State single-season receptions record. And here on first down, Carsados is rolling. He throws. It is incomplete. The ball was bobbled by Mike Lanise as he was going out of bounds. And they're down to 5 seconds. And Spangler will get the call right now.
Now all he does on this is just bobble it. It's clean into his hands. He concentrates, but you can see he never gets control of it before he goes out of bounds.
This is going to be a 55-yard attempt coming up for Rich Spangler. Spangler has gotten a lot of help from Lou the Toe Groza over the years. Here it is. Not going to get there. No, he didn't get it. That's the end of the first half. The Citrus Bowl in Orlando. The Cougars of BYU 7, the Buckeyes of Ohio State 3. Halftime activities coming up in just a moment.
Have you driven a Ford?
Now you can get 7.9 plus at your Ford dealer. 7.9% annual percentage rate financing on new 85 and 86 V6 Thunderbirds, new Ford Tempos, and new Ford Escorts. Plus Ford's new 3-year unlimited mileage powertrain warranty on all 86 Ford cars. Plus 7.9% financing on new 4x2 Ranger and F-150 pickups. That's 7.9 plus, and Happy New Year at your Ford dealer now.
Hamburger places serve lots of stuff. From burgers, to fish, to salad, even chicken. But with so much stuff, it's hard to do everything right. That's why at Kentucky Fried Chicken, all we do is chicken. Whether you choose the Colonel's Original Recipe Chicken, Crunchy Extra Crispy, or Kentucky Nuggets. For great tasting chicken, come to the chicken experts. Any other chicken may not be what it's cracked up to be.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, we do chicken right.
Halftime entertainment. The Brigham Young University.
Ohio State, a 47-yard field goal from Spangler. BYU, a 39-yard touchdown pass. Bosco to Miles. 7-3 here at halftime. The BYU Cougar Marching Band is on the field, directed by David P. Blackington. The assistant is Neil Focal. The drum majors, Jace McQuivry and David Fulmer. The sun shining brightly here in Orlando, Florida, as the Cougar Marching Band entertains this big crowd of better than 50,000 on hand for the 40th annual Citrus Bowl. Used to be the Tangerine Bowl, and what a wonderful event this has become. Big parade here last night, dancing in the streets, Ricky Nelson entertaining, marvelous parties through the week, Disney World, and all the fun of Epcot Center. Quite a time indeed. Right now, let's learn more about BYU.
Brigham Young University is honored to be selected as host for the premier U.S. exhibit of Ramses II, the Pharaoh and His Time. This priceless 72 artifact exhibit includes a 19-pound solid gold necklace, an 8-ton granite statue, and Ramses' wooden sarcophagus, all more than 3,000 years old. The Egyptian government selected BYU for this honor because of the scope and scholarly integrity of the university's archaeological research in Egypt, conducted by Dr. C. Wilfred Griggs, director of the university's Ancient Studies program. The exhibit is but one example of BYU's strong commitment to excellence in education. Nearly 150 subject areas in 12 colleges and professional schools are offered to BYU's 26,000 students. Brigham Young University in Provo, Utah is sponsored by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and is one of the largest private universities in the nation. BYU's 1,500 faculty members are dedicated not only to educate students to succeed in the world's work, but also to appreciate and practice Christian values. The preceding message was furnished by the Florida Citrus Sports Association on behalf of Brigham Young University.
Well, the BYU band continues to entertain this sellout crowd. Jay Randolph along with Dave Rowe very quickly before we head to Bob Costas and get some thoughts from him on this Saturday afternoon. How about your thoughts?
Well, I'm totally surprised because I really thought Bosco would have a better game passing. They did confuse him. They're in making adjustments. For Ohio State, it's been the recovery over the loss of Keith Byers. They have adjusted. They've made some fine adjustments, and this is a whale of a ball game.
Well, we look forward, I know, to the second half, and right now we look forward to visiting with Mr. Bob Costas. Bob is stationed in New York this afternoon, and let's go to him now for his thoughts and some updates.
Jay, later today at the Meadowlands, the Jets and Patriots will be dealt wild cards. Each team was 11-5 during the regular season. A key for the Jet defense, always tough against the run, trying to contain the Patriot ground game. Craig James, Tony Collins, and this man, Robert Weathers, whose 42-yard run late in the fourth quarter a week ago against the Bengals iced the game and a playoff berth for New England. On the same day at the Meadowlands, the Jets were not only wrapping up a wild card, but home field advantage against New England with a 37-10 romp against Cleveland. Key play in the first half. An apparent Don Rogers interception turned into a Jet touchdown by Kurt Sohn. This is the third matchup of the year for these divisional rivals. First meeting at Foxborough, and round one goes to the Patriots. A Steve Grogan bomb finds Stanley Morgan and sets the Pats up for the game-winning play. It'd be Grogan doing the honors, fooling the Jet defense, and taking off around the left side. New England 20, New York 13. Several weeks later, the Patriots were on a roll, and Grogan was a hot quarterback. They'd won 6 in a row, but hit by Ben Rudolph, Grogan would sustain a knee injury. Done for the season. Tony Eason would take over from there. The Patriot winning streak would end in overtime. The key play, this Kurt Sohn punt return in the extra session. It brought the Jets to within field goal range, and wasting no time, Joe Walton called upon Pat Leahy on the very next play. The former St. Louis University soccer player split the uprights. Jets 16, Patriots 13. Today the rubber match. The loser goes home. The winner gets the Raiders. We'll see you later today from the Meadowlands. Now back to halftime at the Citrus Bowl.
Production instructor Ron Rudd. Feature quarter is Natalie.
Back here in Orlando, Florida, the crowd enjoying the BYU marching band as they have performed here, and coming up in just a moment, the Ohio State Buckeyes will be out on the field. You know, I think the thing that we're all proud of most, those of us who love football and those of us who love the pageantry and special time of the year that brings so many of us across America together at bowl time, is the way the Citrus Bowl, formerly the Tangerine Bowl, has grown. It's come a long way from 1947 when Little Catawba College beat Maryville 32-6. It really has, and we would like to congratulate the Florida Department of Commerce and the Division of Tourism for their 40-year association with the Citrus Bowl, and a job very well done. And what a wonderful time all of us with NBC Sports and these two teams, BYU and Ohio State, and all of their supporters have enjoyed here in the dynamic Central Florida area, Orlando, Florida, with Disney World and Epcot Center and SeaWorld, and this city growing very fast, and it's a very vital part of the nation. It really is. The Ohio State University Buckeye Marching Band on the field here at Orlando Stadium. Directed by John Woods. The assistant is Willie Sullivan, and the drum major, Greg Iyer. The Buckeye Marching Band.
And now the most memorable tradition in college band history.
Oklahoma State, or I should say Ohio State University, of course, in Columbus, Ohio. And we're going to have an opportunity right now to take a look at one of the great schools in the Big Ten Conference.
The first duty of the first speaker.
Teaching. If the measure of a university is the sum of its faculty talents, then consider the Ohio State faculty, more than 4,000 strong.
Yes. Don't come to this. Keep this.
Up to equivalency of that. Or actually,
that's very pleasant. There's something nice about looking in here.
And whether the person is male or female is important. Gentlemen, men,
with more than 7,000 courses offered in more than 200 majors, Ohio State faculty members teach in nearly every conceivable academic area. But we strive for even more. To this already outstanding faculty, Ohio State now adds 3 Ohio Eminent Scholars, with a 4th to come. An innovative partnership with the state of Ohio brings these world-class researchers and teachers to the university. And Ohio State's $350 million private fundraising campaign includes the creation of more than 80 additional endowed faculty chairs and professorships to attract the finest teachers for our students. Because at The Ohio State University, today's teaching ensures tomorrow's achievement.
The preceding message was furnished by the Florida Citrus Sports Association on behalf of The Ohio State University.
And here at halftime, the Script Ohio and the Ohio State fans loving the show put on by the Buckeye Marching Band. Been one previous meeting between the Buckeyes and the Cougars. It was in Holiday Bowl 5 in '82 in San Diego, and Ohio State won it 47-17. Tim Spencer helped Ohio State roll up 329 yards rushing on that occasion. We'll be back with more from the Citrus Bowl, Orlando Stadium, Orlando, Florida, right after these messages from your local stations.
Monday, a special holiday movie about a family's courage, starring Jack Lemmon, Robbie Benson, and Lee Remick, who gives them a chance to love each other. Tribute. Then Perry Lindbergh had a bright future, but one for the road changed that. Who's responsible when a young man drinks and drives and dies? American Almanac, Monday.
We're United Telephone. We use technology to connect you to your world. UnitedTel puts advanced technology at your fingertips. Technology like digital switching, fiber optic cables, and even computers that detect problems in your line while you sleep. And of course, our team of talented, dedicated people keeps it all working for you. We're United Telephone. We connect you to your world.
It's saving days here at Tropical Ford.
Now's the best time for you to buy your new car or truck. Live in luxury in this 1985 conversion van for only $326.59 per month.
Live in the age of the all-new Aerostar from Ford for only $199.12 per month.
You can drive this 86 Ranger 4x4 for only $146.42 per month.
Come see us at Tropical Ford.
Prices are born here, raised elsewhere.
Tropical Ford, West Highway 50, Winter Garden. Tucked in the trees north of Lee Road on 1782 in Maitland is Ruff Business Furniture. Ruff means business, ending with S for service, service, and more service. From interior design and space planning to installation, follow-through, delivery, product warranties, leasing, terms, and competitive pricing. Thomas Ruff & Company is a total team effort to do it right the first time. Any way you spell it, Ruff means business. Ruff Business Furniture, the office environment specialists on Highway 1782 in Maitland.
Hi, I'm Bruce Hamilton. Happy holidays from your friends at News Center 2.
Florida's Citrus Bowl Clown. Well, we're getting set for the gala halftime presentation here at the Citrus Bowl. Jay Randolph along with Dave Rowe, 7-3 BYU. Bosco's 13 of 22, 134 yards and the touchdown to Miles, although maybe he did step out of bounds at about the half-yard line. Carsados is 9 of 20 for 99 yards, and Carter, the leading receiver, along with Workman and Cooper, they all have 3 apiece for Ohio State. Himuli has 5 to lead all the receivers for BYU.
But, Jay, it's really been an interesting first half. A lot of people don't think that a 7-3 halftime game is exciting. I think it's wonderful. I'm a defensive player. I love defense, and they have really played great football. When you play defense, you try to mismatch. You try to take away things. Ohio State came out immediately, took away the short passing game to Robbie Bosco. He had nowhere to go. He had to throw long. They made some adjustments on the sideline to make those passes go shorter. He threw that cross-the-field pass to Miles for a touchdown. So they've made adjustments. Ohio State came out. They lost Keith Byers. They lost so much of their emotion going in this game. Everybody, including us, thought that Keith Byers was going to have a big, big day. He got hurt early, and they have just now recovered. Ohio State really took them over a quarter to recover from the loss of Byers.
The first half statistics, this game could be much more in favor of BYU, possibly, had it not been for 2 very tough turnovers for them.
Well, Sikahema fumbled in 2 critical situations. One down inside the 1-yard line, which really hurt him. The other one on about the 20-yard line when they had a chance to go in for at least a field goal. You see the turnover situation many, many times. Turnovers really decide the game. So far, it hasn't hurt BYU in this first half.
For those of you who might be joining us late, Keith Byers injured that foot of his in the early going. They're going to reevaluate his situation. We should have a report coming up. We're now set for the gala halftime show here, presented by the Florida Citrus Bowl, and let's present that for you right now.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to begin the 1985 Florida Citrus Bowl halftime celebration. If you'll direct your attention to the 50-yard line, we're ready to start the show. Excuse me, gentlemen. Gentlemen, you'll have to clear the field. Our halftime show is just about to start. Why, you can even feel the electricity running through this crowd. What's that? The electricity isn't going to run through anyone or anything? Well, why not? Oh, you mean you you have to plug in the show. Well, gentlemen, everyone knows that the Florida Citrus Bowl is always plugged into excitement. And that's because we run on the best energy there is, Florida Citrus Energy. And here to tell you all about it are the BYU Young Ambassadors.
Hi, everyone. You know, every time we taste delicious Florida citrus, well, you know they make us want to kick our heels up and throw our hands up and throw our hands back and come on now, have a sunny citrus day. Don't forget to say yeah. Citrus Bowl. Say it right now, baby. Citrus Bowl. Come on. Citrus Bowl. Say it now. Citrus Bowl. Come on now. Say that you love it. You're glad to be here. Let's have a party. Let's give a big cheer. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Oh, how we waited till December rolled around. Yeah, anticipated coming to Orlando town. Yeah, oh, take a look now. We're bringing out the citrus sun. Yeah, you know it's the brightest. Gonna shine on everyone. You know it's gonna make you shout. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Golden Knights. The Golden Knights have just delivered a very special birthday card. a personal greeting from the President of the United States. And here to read it is Mr. Manny Garcia, President of the Florida Citrus Sports Association.
I'm pleased to send warm greetings to all those attending the 40th Florida Citrus Bowl. I welcome this opportunity to congratulate the organizers of the Florida Citrus Bowl for providing 40 years of thrilling college football and enjoyable family entertainment. I know the Buckeyes of Ohio State and the Cougars of Brigham Young will continue this worthy tradition. Nancy joins me in saluting the Florida Citrus Bowl on its 40th anniversary and in sending our best wishes to players, officials, and fans for a safe and competitive game. Happy anniversary and Happy New Year, Ronald Reagan.
What a wonderful birthday greeting. Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Manny Garcia. Well, arriving by every means of transportation under the sun, here come our Florida Citrus Bowl guests of honor. In the first convertible, Mayor Bill Frederick of Orlando. Followed by Bernie Lester, Executive Director of the Florida Citrus Commission, and Dorothy Snipes, member of the Florida Citrus Commission. Tom Dorman, Chairman of the Orange County Board of Commissioners. And Greg Guion, representative of the State of Florida Division of Tourism. Cecil Moore, Bahia Shrine Potentate, riding with Walker S. Kisselberg, Imperial Shrine Potentate. John Lord, Chairman of the Florida Citrus Sports Association. And representing two of our major halftime supporters, Jack Kelly of Gooding Supermarkets and Linda and Christopher Snow of Church Street Station. And Rosemary Payne, our beautiful Florida Citrus Queen. Let's give a warm round of applause to our guests. And a special thanks to Rosie O'Grady's Good Time Jazz Band, Kit Carr's World of Orlando, and Captain Joe Kittinger for directing this air show. Well, every birthday party needs gifts, and we've got them in a big way.
Holiday greetings from Budweiser. The people who bring you Budweiser wish you and yours the very best of everything this holiday season.
It has been called the ultimate flying machine. It travels at twice the speed of sound, which is why it has to be stopped by a computerized anti-lock braking system. The same sort of ABS braking system you'll find in only one line of cars. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Stand by. Let me know the minute that film comes in. In this business, you can't stop for a headache. I used to take aspirin or Tylenol, but I've switched to Advil. In its first year, doctors have recommended Advil more than 500,000 times. You see, just one Advil is as effective as 2 regular-strength Tylenol or 2 regular aspirin. That makes sense to me. And Advil didn't upset my stomach. Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
Brigham Young University, the Cougars from Provo, leading Ohio State from Columbus, Ohio, 7-3 here at halftime, the 40th Citrus Bowl. Let's go down on the sidelines now and check in with Tom Hammond.
Well, Jay, as you know, when Keith Byers went out after the first offensive series for Ohio State, the Buckeye offense sort of sputtering. The game plan had to be completely revamped. We've just talked to the Ohio State team doctor. They were evaluating him again at halftime. Keith Byers will not return to the game today. He re-aggravated the injury to his broken foot while cutting. He didn't receive a blow to it. He was just cutting off of it, and it started hurting him again. He could not return to the game. He is definitely out for the remainder of this game, and in another 2 or 3 weeks, he will undergo an operation to insert a pin into one of his metatarsal joints that will strengthen it, and they hope heal it for good for Keith Byers. But he is definitely out for the rest of today's Citrus Bowl game. Jay?
Well, it has been a tough year for Byers and a tough year for Ohio State. At times thinking he was ready, then he wasn't, then he was. He had an opportunity to play a few times, but certainly one wonders what might have been for Ohio State has Byers been healthy this year.
And Jay, let me make this point about an injury. With a running back, it's so hard with an ankle injury. A defensive lineman, you can limp around and it's not noticeable. With a running back of his caliber and his speed, it's like a racehorse that pulls up lame. You just cannot play. But it really talks about the integrity of this young man, that he has continued to try to come back with this injury week after week after week, and he's got to be the most disappointed player on this field.
We'll recap the scoring for you. 7-3. Second quarter, Ohio State gets the 47-yard field goal from Spangler. And the Buckeyes were up. And then late in the second quarter, BYU scoring the 39-yard pass from Bosco to Miles. That's been it here in the first half.
And Jay, one thing I noticed out there, we had a large entertainment at halftime, an unbelievable, spectacular show, and they ran some antique cars along the sidelines, about 15 yards in, 10 to 15 yards in from the sideline. And I think it made a lot of ruts on, especially on the Ohio State side.
Some of them right there.
You can see some of the ruts there. Now, there's one of the big ruts because the field was soft. Some of those cars were, you can see at the distance how deep they look. It's a wonder that they don't go out there and try to flatten them down a little bit, because if you're a wide receiver and you're out there, you could actually trip in that.
BYU played the first NCAA game of the regular season of '85. August 29th kickoff classes against Boston College, you may remember. They won it. They played the last NCAA game of the regular season, their victory on December the 7th against Hawaii out in Aloha Stadium in Honolulu. And we also get word that Walker will not play anymore today. Barry Walker, the junior from Lancaster, Ohio, for Ohio State, is out with an ankle injury. So Ohio State a little thin in the backfield. Spangler will kick off. Sikahema and Oates back to receive. Sikahema coming over, and he's coming out. Sikahema made a poor decision and paid for it at the 9-yard line.
And that poor decision is prompted by his poor first half. He was upset at himself. He's a very articulate young man. He obviously, you can see him coming over here and taking the ball away, misjudging it. Now, here's where he makes his poor decision, as you said, to come out. You don't want to come out. Look at the coverage. They were inside the 5-yard line when he started to come out. A poor decision on Vi Sikahema's point.
And John Sullivan, number 57, who started the day at the outside linebacker spot, made the tackle. Bosco on first down. Over the middle, that is Malini, the tight end. Trevor Malini out to the 14-yard line. And Byron Lee, the outside linebacker, making the stop. Bosco, number 6, starting at quarterback with a Muli, 35, to a Piloto, number 46. Robbie Bosco holds the NCAA record for pass attempts and completions.
That's a lot of passes, Jay.
We've had a lot of good quarterbacks out there at BYU, too. Mike Young, whose brother Steve, of course, played at BYU, spotting the Cougars for us this afternoon. Whistle on second down. Doing the spotting for Ohio State, our old friend Steve Snap, the assistant sports information director for the Big Ten club, the Buckeyes. Illegal procedure against the Cougars.
In this second half, Malini could really play an important part in this offense because they're dropping that zone back. He's the tight end coming off the line. He's got great speed, a sprinter speed, highly sought after. He's got 63 catches. If he can catch that ball and they have to single cover him when you drop that deep zone, he could play a big part in the second half and be a major part of this BYU offense.
Second down and 10. As you look at Robbie Bosco, that's Bellini at the top of the screen. Sikahema is back in the lineup. Intercepted over the middle. Coming back with it is Kolick. Touchdown, Ohio State. Happiness reigns for the Buckeyes. Larry Kolick, the senior from Smithfield, Ohio, with the interception. 12-yard return, touchdown Buckeyes.
And I'll bet you if you asked Larry Kolick, number 33, before this game, what his part would be in this game, he would never have said he would play this big a part. He's been a nose man. He's been a linebacker. He's intercepted passes. He just ran for a touchdown. What a position he has played today.
Spangler makes the point after. The turnover puts Ohio State in the lead, 10-7.
My wife was having our second child, and so Anthony and I were on our own. And we went to the store, and I picked up a bargain baby shampoo, not Johnson's. I thought I was just helping out, but we used it, and Anthony got some shampoo in his eyes, and he began to cry. And I felt awful.
They may say baby shampoo, but many bargain brands sting, irritate eyes. Only Johnson says no more tears.
No more tears isn't just an ad slogan. It's very real. We're sticking with Johnson's.
Orange juice smart. To look for sweet. To look for pure. To look for great tasting orange juice. And now you're smart to look for something new. Florida's seal of approval. Your guarantee that no matter how or where it's packaged, it's juice that meets Florida's standards. Standards higher than those of the federal government. So to be sure the juice you pour has everything you're looking for. Look for Florida's new seal of approval.
Orange juice smart.
Well, the greatest thrill you can have as a linebacker is to play nose man, drop back into pass coverage. Now, that was Kolick. Now, look, he never sees him. Bosco never saw Kolick drop off the line for that interception.
Last season, Kolick returned a pass interception. He came away with one of Chuck Long's passes and scored against Iowa. Now he gets the big turnaround for the Buckeyes against BYU.
And we talked about the confusion that Ohio State has done, that playing nose man, dropping back into coverage, sometimes rushing. Kolick has been very, very instrumental in this turnabout. 10-7 Ohio State.
As you saw, the third turnover for the Cougars. 13:52 left, third quarter. Buckeyes leading at 10-7. Spangler ready to kick off. Sikahema and Oates back to receive. Sikahema's not coming out. Let's go sideline with Tom Hammond.
Jay, before the interception, we saw the game plan for the second half begin to unfold for BYU. They had planned to go with the shorter stuff to complete underneath the coverage and perhaps get some good gainers that way. And Bosco executed on the first couple of downs, but as Dave said, he never saw Kolick on the interception. Kolick dropped back into coverage. Bosco put it right in his midsection, but BYU does plan to go with the shorter passes to perhaps open up the deep stuff later in the half.
All right, some insight from Tom Hammond, who played collegiately at LSU. Big Dave Rowe alongside, who played at Penn State later in the pros. Hope you're enjoying their thoughts this afternoon on this Citrus Bowl game. Oh, out of nowhere. Bosco is hit by Byron Lee, the outside linebacker. He's number 82 out of Eastmore High School in Columbus, Ohio.
And Bosco never saw Lee coming from his strong end. He'll come from the top of your screen, from the top right. Now watch Bosco looking away. There's a shot. Boy, jerks his head back. Wow, did Bosco take a shot on that ball by number 82, Byron Lee.
13-18 left to go in the third quarter. Second down, 20. whistle. Play is stopped by referee Vincent Price and his crew. Too much time. Delay a game.
You called it delay a game, Jay. But they have really, Ohio State has just totally befuddled BYU today. They've stunted, they've blitzed, they've dropped back. They have really kept Robbie Bosco off guard all day.
Lavelle Edwards joined Hal Mitchell's staff at BYU way back in '62, and he succeeded Tommy Hudspeth as the head coach there in '72. Bosco back in the end zone. Incomplete. Going for Mark Bellini. Now wait a minute, does the one official say it's complete?
He's holding a spot on the sideline, I thought.
He's holding us. Well, now he backs off. The one official, the side judge, almost gave an indication that it was complete. Let's look at it here.
There's the pass to the sideline. Now he has to come down with 1 foot in. No, it wasn't even close. It was knocked away.
He must have just been marking the spot for some reason or other over there. All right, it is third down. Third and long, and they run out of there and nothing doing. They handed it off to Tui Pelotu, and the play made by Chris Spielman, number 36, and the Buckeyes are fired up, and so are their fans.
Their fans are rising up. Spielman just meets Tui Pelotu in the hole, and hello, how are you? Bam, he knocked him down to the ground.
Kevin Towle standing back in the end zone. Mike Lanice set to receive the punt. And Ohio State's got everybody up on the line. He gets the kick away, angled to this side, and it goes out of bounds. And we'll see where they're spotted. They're going to spot it at about the 45-yard line. We'll be back with more right after this.
The BMW 5 Series. 3 luxury sedans that transform information into exhilaration. Fuel into adrenaline. And other sports sedans into idle pretenders. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. For a test drive, contact your authorized BMW dealer.
This holiday season, share the magic of Andre, America's best-loved champagne.
The 1985 Florida Citrus Bowl Classic is brought to you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. To arrange a thorough test drive, phone your nearest BMW dealer. By the U.S. Armed Forces, it's a great place to start. And by Visa, accepted worldwide for shopping, dining, and travel. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
First down for Ohio State at the BYU 44 after the 35-yard punt. The handoff going to George Cooper. And Coop cracks inside the 40-yard line. Steve Sanders, the sophomore from Orange, California, has played very well for the Cougars this season. Number 59 making the stop. You see Vince Workman come into the game, the freshman from Dublin, Ohio. These two coaches, Lavelle Edwards and Earl Bruce, played a little golf here earlier in the week with Arnold Palmer over at Bay Hill. We'll be back there later in 1986 for the Bay Hill Classic, always a big event on NBC. Hand off to Workman. And he's hit by Jason Buck, number 99, as he gets near the 37-yard line. Clock running with 11 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the third quarter, as the Buckeyes got the turnover in the opening minute of the third quarter, as Kolick took it in from 9 yards out on an interception, and they lead it 10-7. Carsados 9 out of 20 for 99 yards. On 3rd down and 3. The pitch back coming to Wooldridge. Wooldridge has got the first down and is all the way to the 26-yard line before Rob Ledenko bangs him out of bounds. Wooldridge had 9 touchdowns this season.
Now this play is supposed to be made by Mark Sherman, number 5. He has got the pitch man. Now you'll see he dives to bring him, doesn't hold on. There's Woolridge, keeps the good speed, keeps those feet in bounds, tippy-toeing down the sideline, picks up a big yardage gain for him.
11 yards on the play, first down. Woolridge with 43 yards this afternoon. Ross Schneiderman and his crew handling our statistics here in Orlando. Not much there for Cooper. The ball comes out, and it's going to belong to BYU. Leon White, number 41, came up with it.
And when you guess right and you hit that running back in the hole, he doesn't have time to concentrate on the ball. Cooper just got jammed in the hole. Someone ripped the ball out. It came free, and Leon White comes up with a big fumble recovery.
This is the first turnover of the afternoon for Ohio State. And BYU will have it when we come back to Orlando.
We're not a company.
But outstanding people come to us every day.
People who want to make a contribution to a team and do work that really counts.
People eager to see new places, do the unusual, and find the unusual.
People who become your friends for life. People just like you.
We're not a company.
We're your country.
We're the Navy.
The Air Force.
The Marines.
The Army.
We're the armed forces.
It's a great place to start.
You'd never expect to catch a fish in downtown Austin. Yet that's the reason people come to the Austin Angler. One of the few places in Texas you can get a custom-made split bamboo fly rod and a fresh-tied woolly worm to go on the end. So if you go there, remember, keep your rod tip up and put your Visa card down. Because at the Angler, they don't take fishing lightly, and they don't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Ohio State leading 10-7. Tom Hammond's on the sidelines. Dave Rowe and Jay Randolph with you. The 40th Citrus Bowl. Big happy birthday event for the city of Orlando and the folks in Central Florida as BYU and Ohio State go at it. Bosco gets it batted down, and it is on the ground, an incomplete pass. It was almost picked off. They put real good pressure as this Ohio State club on Robbie Bosco here this afternoon.
That is the exact key. They are getting up in Robbie Bosco's face. When those linemen, we all talked about the size of the linemen here. When they put those arms up, it's like throwing through the woods. There's a lot of trees sticking up in your face. To the secondary of this Ohio State team. Bosco, as he sets back, now watch the time he has here. He has a lot of time. They're putting pressure. They're collapsing the pocket around him. Look, he has to bring it back down. Bring it back down again. Now there he gets hit. Kolek comes from nowhere. He's playing Robbie Bosco's eyes, picks up the interception, and they're down in scoring territory again.
And they fumble. And it goes right back to BYU. It was fumbled by Vince Workman, number 42, and recovered by Whittingham, 53, and they turn it right back.
And you talk about emotion. celebration. You think these two teams aren't playing. They're playing their hearts out today. People talked about this game not being important because Ohio State didn't go to the Rose Bowl and because BYU lost a couple games. But watch the intenseness and the hitting. Now he's got the ball put away. He bangs in the back of his own person. There comes the ball out. Just a good hit by the defender. Rips the ball out. We got BYU going the other way.
Yesterday, I was a football player. Today, I'm retired. How do I want to be remembered? As a good father, as a good husband, and that's it. That's life, and that's what life is.
This bug's for all that you do. You keep America going. You keep the juices flowing. You are the muscle, the hope and the hustle. You keep the country growing, and you make America work. And this bug's for you.
Here's to you, Beechwood Age, for that clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
This bug's for you.
Vince Workman coming off, shaken up on the last play. He coughed up the football.
He certainly did. As he runs into the back of his offensive guard, he loses sight of himself, and really right there, Ledenko puts a hand in, knocks the ball out. BYU's going the other direction. BYU has had a lot of things go their way, both positive and negative, Jay.
It's been a roller coaster ride here. Tui Polotu out to about the 19-yard line. Chris Spielman, 36 on the tackle. Tui Polotu, one of the young men from Tonga, lives in San Mateo, California now. Pickup of about 3 on the play. 2nd down and 7. We have 9:15 remaining in the 3rd quarter. There's BYU's last 3 possessions. A sprained neck is the word that we get on Vince Workman. Over the middle, Heimuli to the 24-yard line. Lake Heimuli, the junior, he had 857 yards coming into today's game. In the Holiday Bowl last year, 82 yards on 16 carries. The leading rusher over the last 2 seasons as they attend there to Workman. A first down at the 25-yard line. Buckeyes lead at 10-7, 3rd quarter with 8:45 to play.
Well, if anybody has the composure to regroup himself, Robbie Bosco does. He's a great competitor in tight situations. Has a great winning record here at BYU.
Looked like somebody moved on the line for BYU. Let's pause 5 seconds now for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
You're watching WESH-TV Channel 2, Daytona Beach, Orlando, Florida.
With Tom Hammond and Dave Rowe, Jay Randolph, Orlando Stadium, Citrus Bowl.
Dead ball, illegal procedure, the white, still first down.
Illegal procedure call against BYU. It'll be 1st and 15. The Cougar Band entertaining. At the moment, Buckeyes leading 10-7. It has been a wild and woolly 3rd quarter up to now. Bosco standing in trouble, gets out of there, throws, incomplete. Sikahema was in the zone. Some of the Ohio State folks looking for another grounding call. They're not going to get it. Bosco did a real good job of scrambling out of there.
And they really could have had a grounding call because I thought he grounded it also. But watch them. Bosco is so used to staying in that pocket now. He starts to get pressure. You can see Ohio State putting a pressure on. Now he has to run outside. There's pressure from the outside. Now tell me this isn't grounding. Look here. He's on his way down. Now watch. Boom. There's nobody out there. Jay, I look like
we don't have it in the graphs call in college football. Remember that.
That's right.
Bolini going in motion to the far sideline. 2nd down. This is Tui Polotu, and he's across the 25 to the 26-yard line. Byron Lee, number 82, the outside linebacker, made the stop. The BYU cheerleaders. 7:50 to play in the third quarter. Third down and 10 coming up.
Jay, I talked about Robbie Bosco and his great record. You know, when he started at quarterback, he has 24 wins, 2 losses. So this is a different composure for him to be in at this present time.
Bosco rolling to the far sideline, looking downfield, got a man, Bellini can't get it. Oh, they closed at the last minute. Terry White made a brilliant play. White from Cambridge, Ohio, just 5'9". He came from that safety position out of nowhere as Bellini looked like he had him beat.
And what Bosco does there is he waves Bellini long. Now Terry White's playing center field. He just reads the pass. He's got a lot of time to get over. Look at that, just a matter of inches. Or Bellini, he was so wide open. It's amazing that Terry White must have come 30 yards to cover that play. There's the tip. Just a long, incomplete pass.
I want to tell you a story about Terry White when we get a chance later on. Here is the punt by Kevin Toll. Lanise lets it roll, and it is inside the 20 at the 21-yard line. Ohio State will take it there with 7:13 left in the third quarter. 54-yard punt. We'll be back.
Since its introduction in the U.S., BMW has outperformed the energy crisis, the economic crisis, single-handedly caused the automotive identity crisis, and now makes its most powerful argument against the midlife crisis. All 3 Series BMWs now have the added advantage of a 5th and 6th cylinder. For a test drive, contact your authorized BMW dealer.
Now, Selsun Blue, the #1 doctor-recommended dandruff shampoo, introduces a new extra conditioning formula.
It leaves my hair looking so soft and manageable. It has 5 conditioners, including aloe, that leaves hair in beautiful condition.
And Selsun Blue Extra Conditioning Formula contains the anti-dandruff ingredient doctors recommend most. No leading brand gets rid of dandruff flaking or itching better.
New Selsun Blue Extra Conditioning Formula controls dandruff and leaves hair in beautiful condition.
College football's best and brightest are on NBC with the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl. The Pac-10 champion UCLA Bruins battle the 3rd-ranked Hawkeyes of Iowa as quarterback Chuck Long makes good on his vow to be in Pasadena on New Year's Day at the Rose Bowl. The best and brightest of the bowls are on NBC Sports.
Well, the beautiful city of Orlando, the lakes, wonderful area here, and the people, they've had a great week. Our blip overhead giving you these great shots this afternoon. First down for Ohio State, and that is John Wooldridge. Wooldridge is across the 25 to about the 28-yard line. Steve Sanders, 59 on the tackle.
And as we talked earlier about that line play, that nose play, watch this play here. Now, 65 is Ken Smith. Now, he's playing along the line well, but he's got to be able to stop, plant, and come back. What happens? Maggs takes him past the play, allows the running back to cut up for big yardage. Maggs has got to, he really won that one over Ken Smith, number 65.
Maggs, the junior, doing a heck of a job playing with a bad back, all Big Ten. That's Wooldridge again as Ohio State tries to control the football. He bangs for the first down near the 33-yard line. Number 77, Sean Knight, a junior from Sparks, Nevada, making the stop. Second half possessions for Ohio State.
2 big fumbles. Boy, that really did hurt BYU in the second half. They have not been able to sustain a drive all day long. And it's a compliment to the Ohio State defense. They have really reacted well to the ball.
Carsados throwing over the middle, and it is incomplete. Almost intercepted by Mark Sherman. Sherman thought that he had it. Sherman, who is from Quincy, Florida, lives now out in Oxnard, California, number 5, came to BYU from Ventura College.
And the important thing is whether he got his hands underneath. No, he didn't. It bounced just in front of him. But every defensive back will get up and wave that ball and say, yeah, I caught it, just in case they missed it.
John Hutchison, the senior from Atwater, Ohio, is in the game now. Number 81 at tight end. There's Mark Sherman. That was the first time that Ohio State has thrown a pass in the second half. Here goes Lanise in motion to the far side. Woolridge to the 38. Ludenko, number 9, and Sanders, 59, on the tackle. I mentioned Lanise going in motion on that play. He is a Rhodes Scholar and will be going to England for further studies out of Mayfield, Ohio. Lanise, majoring in English and political science, and one of a select group of just 32 students, Rhodes Scholars. It's great to see the student athlete playing in the big games and playing so well in other areas, too. Carsados throws. It is Cooper at the 40, 45. Cooper's all the way down to the BYU 48-yard line. It was Whittingham, 53, and Sherman, number 5, who finally made the tackle.
And Carsados never saw that completion. He just threw the ball to an area. He was getting dumped on his back. Now watch the tail end of this. You'll see Carsados looking off. Now here's the dump pass. Here comes the pressure. He never sees to complete. He's dumped. Cooper, now once he gets up ahead of steam, he is a compact, speedy player, picks up 14 yards, a big first down.
That's Woolridge to the 45-yard line. 4 minutes and 55 seconds to play in the third quarter, and Ohio State leading 10-7. That stop made by Sanders again. He's done a splendid job today. Sanders had Lad Ukeo, the junior from Pearl City, Hawaii, has got that pinched nerve and hasn't been able to go, and Sanders has filled in very nicely for him. Complete to Lanise as Carsados really took a shot. It was amazing he got that pass away. Sproul's 25 and Govea 34 on the tackle.
Now watch Govea from the backside. Carsados never sees him. He just dumps him. Now if he had been able to get over in the middle of his back 1/10 of a second faster, that would have been a knockdown pass. But he completes it for about a 1-yard gain, so it brings up a big third down and about 3.
Carsados and Lanise hooked up for the longest Ohio State pass play of the season, a 75-yarder. And of course, as I mentioned, in the fall he'll be studying as a Rhodes Scholar over in England. Lanise. Carsados rushed again. Shovel it to Cooper, and Cooper has a first down. Well, they're sure putting a lot of pressure on Carsados, but he is hanging tough. Whittingham, 53, on the tackle.
Well, Carsados said, I'm just a pup. I've got next year to prove myself. But he's proving himself here. Look at Govea. Look at the pressure he's put on him. He just dumps it to Cooper. Cooper tipped the ball about twice, came down, made a splendid run down inside the 40-yard line, down about the 38-yard line. Picked up a big first down again.
Cooper now has 5 catches for 47 yards. Carsados hands it off to Woolridge, and he's down to the 33-yard line. That Buckeye offensive line of Maggs and Gilmore and Uhlenhaken, Graves and Cotterman doing quite a job right now. Whittingham, 53, again there to make the tackle for the Cougars.
And at this situation, it's really interesting, the different philosophies. Ohio State, a great running team. Of course, without Keith Byers today. BYU, an explosive offense. But right now, it's Ohio State grinding the ball out, keeping it on the ground, passing when they have to, but picking up those big, important first downs to keep a drive alive.
Lanise goes to the far sideline. Second man through is Woolridge. Woolridge, another first down at the 25, and they're banging them out now. Ludenko, number 9, on the stop. That was the 11th, or check it, the 10th play of this drive.
And it's really the first sustained drive by either offense. Both offenses have sputtered, and it's a compliment to both defenses. But right now, that big offensive line of Ohio State is blowing into that BYU team, and they've got a little bit of a weight advantage. There's an interested partner. I'll tell you, I really feel sorry for him today. I know what he wanted to do, but they are really controlling the line of scrimmage.
Keith Byers out of the game, injured early on, that foot of his. Woolridge Maybe got a yard to the 25, wrapped up there by Gouveia, 34, and David Futrell, who's now playing the noseman spot. Futrell, number 75.
And Gouveia at 6'1", 228 pounds, is really a model linebacker. He has got great range, great speed. He accelerates along the line of scrimmage, has great lateral pursuit, and he's the top-rated defensive player that they have on this BYU team.
The Cougars have had a quiet confidence about their defense this season, but right now Ohio State's really testing it. Carsados, the out pass complete at the 20-yard line to Lanise. Lanise, 41 catches last year, 5 touchdowns this season on 27 catches coming into today's game. The Rhodes Scholar, brilliant young man. Very dapper dresser, too.
I was really amazed as we talked to the players how articulate these players are. I mean, it's a real compliment to both these universities. These are very, very well representative of their particular schools.
Been a splendid week for us, Dave, to get a chance to meet these fine young people. Complete down to the 13-yard line, Ed Taggart. Taggart, the junior from Akron. He had 30 catches this year and 3 touchdowns. The big tight end, number 80. Stop was made by Leon White, 41.
And there's some Taggart fans. Love our man Taggart. Love NBC and our man Taggart.
Timeout, Brigham Young University, with 50 seconds remaining to be played in the third quarter. The only score of this period, Kolek picking off a Bosco pass and romping in for 9 yards out for the touchdown. The Cougars, an 11-2 record coming into this game. They lost a toughie to UCLA 27-24, and then were upset by UTEP 23-16 when they were held to 146 yards passing. Remember New Year's Day, the best of the bowls on NBC. The Fiesta will kick it off, 1:30 Eastern Time. The Wolverines and the Cornhuskers. And then the attention will shift out to Pasadena, California. The Rose Bowl with Chuck Long and third-ranked Iowa, the Hawkeyes. And they battle the Pac-10 champion UCLA Bruins. Following the Rose Bowl, primetime action to determine the national championship. The Nittany Lions of Penn State, Dave's school, ranked number 1, coached by Joe Paterno, take on second-ranked Oklahoma. The Sooners from down in Norman. The Orange Bowl with all its pageantry, and what a great game. That's all coming up for you. New Year's Day on NBC. Boy, what a day it's going to be. I'm going to just sack in and be ready for that one.
That's the day I tell my wife, don't bother me, because I just want to watch all those games. I think every team that's ranked of any significance is in that series, those 3 bowls.
13 plays in this drive, 66 yards. It's taken better than 6 minutes and 20 seconds. Woolridge inside the 10, down to the 8-yard line. Kerry Whittingham, who's had an outstanding game for the Cougars, number 53. And David Futrell, number 75, make the stop.
And I'd like to tell you a story about Kerry Whittingham, I should say, number 53. I can think back. I played with his dad. Now, that's when you think you're getting old.
Woolridge has had himself a day, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. Look at that. BYU, 70 yards. Woolridge has 80 by himself.
Second down, 10 seconds left in the third quarter. Carsados throwing. Oh, he had his man and threw poorly. He had Ed Taggart wide open and threw a poor pass. Got a little anxious.
Well, it's a double threat. Carsados has both the option to fake here. Now you'll see him fake, trying to draw the linebackers. He rolls out here. Now he has the option whether to run or pass. He sees Taggart. He just throws past the outstretched hands. It's called a tight end delay. The tight end, as he comes off the line of scrimmage, he sneaks across the field. Really, Carsados really should have hit Taggart. He was wide open.
Carsados, for 2 years, understudied Mike Tomczak. He lost some weight. He's more mobile now. Third down, and banging inside the 5 is Wayne Cooper. That's the end of the third quarter. The Buckeyes 10, the Cougars 7. We'll have more after this from your local station.
Catch the fun and action of the Big Money Game Show. Dick Clark's $100,000 Pyramid at 7. Then at 7:30, it's Hollywood vet Martin Sheen on Entertainment Tonight. We've got it all on WESH Monday night.
If you've had your eye on an Isuzu pickup, but your budget on something else, we're going to change all that. Through the end of the year, terrific factory incentives are in effect during the holidays on all 21 Isuzu pickups. The base price is $57.89, and we're dealing. So get on down and get your best price. But hurry, the sale of the year ends at the end of the year. See your Central Florida Isuzu dealer.
This is the best time of the year in Florida. It's just beautiful. It's also the best time to buy a Carrier air conditioner. If you buy a Carrier now during our off-season, you will have no payments until April. Then pay the full amount or get nothing down $45 a month terms. It's our off-season way of helping you own the very best. Carrier. Call your participating Carrier dealer and pay nothing until April. He's a Florida air conditioner specialist offering a world of service.
In the final countdown to 1986, time is money. One last shot at gold medal savings at 85. Right now at Don Neely Chevrolet, price is your incentive to January 1st. Inventory tax is ours. Cavaliers at 7.9% financing, now as low as $73.85. C10 pickups at 7.9% as low as $79.50. But the clock is ticking, so go for the gold. Now at your gold medal Chevy dealer, Don Neely Chevrolet.
Happy holidays from all of us at News Center 2.
We start the fourth quarter in the 40th Citrus Bowl. 4th and 1 for Ohio State, just inside the 5, and they're going to go for it.
Well, I would go for it, too, because a field goal will only put you up 6 points. And with this explosive BYU team, they can score any time. But Ohio State's had great success on the run.
That's Woolridge. And we'll wait and see. Looked like he might have gotten enough for the first down. Steve Sanders again, 59, with Sean Knight, 77, leading the charge for the Cougars. And the Cougars think they've stopped them short. I'm sure we'll get a measurement for Earl Bruce's club as he paces the sidelines.
Well, the 2 linebackers just met him right in the hole and stuck him. Once he was hit, he didn't fall forward. They may, in fact, have stopped him.
Here is the measurement. Stop them. Brigham Young will get the football.
And it was a great fill by the linebackers. You see 53, Whittingham, going in there. There's the stop right on the line of scrimmage. You see 59 in there fighting, not allowing him to fall forward. If he falls forward 6 inches, he's got the first down. They stop him. This could be a big emotional turn for BYU.
Marvelous coverage there by Richard Klein and our crew, bringing you the sights and sounds of the Citrus Bowl. They went 17 plays, 75 yards. It took 7 minutes and 19 seconds, but they came up empty. And BYU down by 3, ready to move. Bosco in the end zone, all kinds of time. Bosco completing it out to Molini. Molini, the tight end, at the 18-yard line. And back downfield, one of the Cougars shaken up, getting up slowly. John Borgia, big, strong sophomore from Glenwood, Illinois.
Now watch the time that Bosco has back here. He fakes into line his play action. Now he even has time to wave him. Okay, you go over there. All of a sudden he sees Molini coming out of here. Now that's not really a good pass because he lofted it. Had he been able to drill it in there, Molini with his sprinter speed may have picked up another 10 or 15 yards. But that's what they have to do, that short passing game to set up the long passing game.
They did get out of the hole, first down. This one is winged out and dropped. Molini couldn't hold on out at the 28-yard line. As you're looking, Robbie Bosco, who has a 66.1% completion average coming into today's game on the season, the Holiday Bowl MVP from a year ago, 3rd in the Heisman Trophy voting. He was redshirted back in '82. Bosco, majoring in communications, 17 of 32, 156 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. That's Hamuli for the first down. Lake Hamuli. He was run out of bounds over there by Sonny Gordon. 16-yard pickup.
And that's a good indication of this sophistication in the BYU passing attack, which we talked about earlier. These runners and wide receivers, as they go out, they make sight adjustments. If they see a zone coverage, they'll pull up. Now, they're going to do an out pattern, which means they turn out towards the sideline. But if they see zone coverage, they can pull up shorter. And Bosco is starting to read the defense of the Ohio State team much better this quarter.
Bosco running out of there, out to the 36-yard line. He looked like he might have been going to the tight end, Lance Lindley, who's now in there replacing Molini. The Buckeyes have Derek Eiseman, an outstanding freshman from Fremont, Ohio, number 61, at an outside linebacker spot now. He played very well against Michigan. 13.5 minutes to play. Ohio State leading 10-7. Hamuli with the football, penalty marker down. Hamuli to the 37-yard line. Pepper Johnson on the tackle, number 98, along with number 55, Ray Holloman, a junior from Holland, Michigan, who's in the game now.
And they called that an offside on Ohio State, so the play doesn't go for a 2-yard gain. It goes for a 5-yard gain, and they get the play over, so a big penalty.
Offside, red, second down.
BYU has brought the football from deep in their own end out to the 41-yard line. Talking it over on the sidelines. Scott Norbert to the near side, Molini to the far side. Bosco setting up the screen. Sikahema out of bounds at the 40.
And did you see Chris Spielman that time come all the way across the field? He knew it. He saw the screen set up, saw the drop by Bosco, and he came flying across from his position all the way across the field to make that tackle. Chris Spielman, 133 tackles, #1 tackler on this team.
And that was with missing a game or two, if I'm not mistaken, an NEA All-American. Played at Washington High School in the tradition-rich football city of Massillon, Ohio. Bosco scrambles and hits Bellini. Bellini has a first down at the 41-yard line. Mark Bellini, a walk-on as a freshman. Bellini out of San Leandro, California.
I talked with him yesterday at practice. He said, you know, I didn't even get offered a scholarship. He just walked on, decided he wanted to play football. And wow, you just don't do that very often, to come up and play major college football as a walk-on.
First down for the Cougars. Ohio State leading, but BYU marching. Tui Pelotu to the 36-yard line. William White, number 37, on the tackle.
When you have a 6.5-yard average per carry, I'd go to that young fellow a lot more. He's run the ball 90 times this year, I think. No, 58 times, I should say. But he's got a great average. It is 90 times for 6.5-yard average.
See Gary Webster loosening up on the sidelines. He does the field goal kicking. Sikahema's back in there to replace Tui Pelotu. Bosco goes down at the 46-yard line. Pepper Johnson leading the way for the Buckeyes of Earl Bruce.
And there's the difference in coverage. That time they decided they were going to blitz. They have confused them all day. You'll see Pepper Johnson, number 98, come into your screen right in the center. Bosco has no place to step up. Down he goes, a big 5 or 6 yard loss. That really hurts BYU in this situation. Had Bosco had a little bit more time, he might have been able to pick up Bellini coming across the field. He was wide open.
Third down and 13 at the 41.
distraught over this play, but every time something seems to go good for BYU, it doesn't. And you can see this catch by Bellini right almost as if you're catching it at home. It's just thrown right to you.
Third down.
It'll bring up 3rd down and 24. Ohio State held Chuck Long to 169 yards passing, 4 interceptions earlier this year. Bosco today is 20 of 35, 190 yards, a touchdown and 2 interceptions. See Chuck Long and his Iowa bunch on New Year's Day in the Rose Bowl right here on NBC. Incomplete. David Mills, or Miles, I should say, David Miles downfield. You remember he caught the touchdown pass earlier in this game for BYU. Rogan had the coverage down there with Gordon, and BYU will have to punt.
And that is just a frustration pass. That's what that was. I'm just going to force it in there. Great coverage by Ohio State. They had 3 men back that time. Not a chance that that ball would be completed. And Bosco is getting more and more frustrated as the game goes on.
Towles punt to the far sideline. Inside the 15, now inside the 10, down to the 9-yard line, and Ohio State will start from there. 10:27 remaining in the game. Ohio State leads.
This electronic timer will show how fast you can relieve sore throat pain.
My sore throat feels very red and hot.
Will you try Chloraseptic?
Sure.
Now watch the timer.
Well, that's nice. That works really good.
With doctor-recommended Chloraseptic, relief is just seconds away.
Come along. We're going to try to find a banker. To be called a banker, you know, you've had to have had very special training in the management of people's money. Don't see any bankers here. Bankers have hundreds of years of banking tradition to back them up. No bankers here. And bankers offer the newest ideas to help your money grow. There is one catch. The only place you'll find a banker is the bank.
A message from America's full-service banks.
51-yard punt a moment ago. Ohio State starting from its own 8-yard line. Carsados at quarterback with Cooper and Woolridge. Carsados on 1st down, throwing, and the catch is made on the far sideline by Chris Carter. Oh, what a high maneuver to make contact with the ball and hold on.
When you see this catch, a one-hand, it looks like he's got a first base glove on. He just brings it down. Look at the toes in bounds. They talk about Chris Carter's speed. That was an unbelievable catch. What hands? One hand, tiptoes on the sideline. They say he's got great speed, but he really showed what his hands were on that play.
16-yard pickup. Of course, he set a single-season Ohio State record here today for catches. Second man through is Woolridge. He gets a couple. One more look at that catch. It deserves it, doesn't it?
Now watch this one hand. It's his left hand. Now, I don't know if he really came with his feet down in bounds. There's the left hand. He's got the ball. Yeah, I think he's in bounds.
He has a 36-inch vertical jump.
Well, he jumped 36 inches that time.
For those of you, of course, looking forward to NFL 85 with Bob Costas. That'll be coming up as soon as this action is concluded. Here's Carsados, far side complete. Carter again. Carsados and Carter putting on a little passing show right now.
Well, they say that Chris Carter, number 2, is so fast that he can turn off the lights and get in bed before it gets dark. And they're respecting his speed. A 15-yard gain, and he's connected back-to-back with Chris Carter.
And Ohio State out of a hole. They're out to their own 41-yard line. 9 minutes and 41 seconds remaining. The Buckeyes lead the Cougars 10-7 in the 40th Citrus Bowl. Woolridge, penalty marker goes down. Woolridge was hit by Gary Whittingham, the senior from Provo, Utah. He had a broken hand earlier in the year. Boy, he's played well this afternoon. Holding call is indicated. Holding against Ohio State.
I know that Fred and Nancy Whittingham are watching this game, so I know they're kind of excited. There's a person who's not very excited. But to talk about Kerry Whittingham, and his father was probably one of the most intense linebackers, was a coach here at BYU, now coaches for the Los Angeles Rams.
Well, and looking at Byers again, for those of you who may have joined us late, he injured that foot of his, the one that's bothered him all season long. And as Tom Hammond told us, he will now have an operation to put a pin in that situation, to put the pin in the foot, and hopefully he'll be able to return to greatness, because he certainly has tremendous talent and is a wonderful, wonderful young man. A little delay to Wooldridge. Wooldridge gets to the 34-yard line before Steve Sanders, 59, and Jason Buck, 99, make the play. Cottrell is in there at the nose, 75, and we've got Ulima Fudusimanu, another tough one for us, who's now at the weak side linebacker. He's a Samoan, though. He's not from Tonga.
That's one of those Tonga twisters, though.
It is a Tonga twister. Second down, 17. Carsados got a man, Lanise, and Lanise doesn't have enough for the first down, but he got to the 45-yard line. The corners, Thomas 3 and Sprouse 25, converging to make the play.
And it was a good choice by Carsados on that, not to try to pick up the 17 to 20 yards that he needed for the first down. Pick up about 10, 11 of it on that play. Come back. Now you've got a third down and about 6. You pick it up, another little short pass, and you've got a first down.
They get 12 yards on the play. This big crowd really enjoying themselves. You see the time remaining, 8 minutes. Ohio State leading 10-7. Carsados over the middle, wide open. Wooldridge first down at the 45-yard line. Wilcox, 14, made the play for the Cougars. But right now, Carsados and company are doing a very excellent job.
Great play selection from the Ohio State side of the field. Short dump passes, a running play to keep them off guard, throw it deep to Chris Carter, come back with another dump pass. They are really have a great game plan right now, and Lavelle Edwards is obviously upset. There's Earl Bruce saying, good job in there.
Banging his way up the middle is Cooper. Cooper's down to the 38-yard line. Mark Sherman, the safety, number 5, makes the tackle.
When you're 190 pounds, 189 pounds like Mark Sherman is, and you're coming up and tackling a man of Cooper's size who's 6'2", 240 pounds with great speed. Ouch, that hurts.
BYU led 7-3 at halftime. The only score since then, a 9-yard touchdown for Kolick of Ohio State on a Bosco interception. Too high this time for Chris Carter. Sherman covering in the zone back there. The quarterback comparisons on the day.
But the big thing, of course, Jay, is the interceptions. You see it on the right part of your screen. 2 interceptions. They have been crucial interceptions against BYU.
Bosco on occasion taking the long route when maybe he should have looked for something a little shorter.
Well, he's obviously frustrated. He's obviously out there trying to complete that long pass. He's got to make that adjustment and come underneath to those shorter gains.
Third down and 5. And incomplete. Carsados was pressured. Jeff Sprouse had the coverage over on the far side against Carter.
And you talk about pressured. BYU that time sent 9 men up in the line of scrimmage to rush. They're not a blitzing team. They're not known as a blitzing team, but they ran right down the throat of Carsados. He saw 9 of them coming at him that time.
And we're going to get Well, now, wait a minute. They're going to call timeout. I was about to say we're going to get a 56-yard field goal attempt. But right now, we're going to get a timeout. The Buckeyes lead 10-7.
For us, now there is a personal car that has exactly what we're looking for. Taurus, now there's an American car with the shape and the feel we've never seen before.
For all of us who demand excellence in design and function, for all of us who will not compromise, Ford listened. Ford created Taurus for us.
For us, now there's an American car that has exactly what we've been looking for. Taurus, now there's an American car with the shape and the feel we've never seen before. Ford has seen where we're going. Ford has heard us loud and clear. Ford has seen the future, and now the future is here for us. Taurus for us. Taurus for us. Have you driven a Ford lately?
With Tom Hammond, Dave Rowe. This is Jay Randolph. Well, they had Spangler on the field, called timeout, and they've decided to go with a punt. Tom Tupa. And downfield by Sikahema, who has broken some long ones this season. He may not get a chance to return this one as they angle it to the near sideline. And let's see where they're going to spot it. At the 13-yard line. That's where BYU will take over. Back with more in just a moment.
You know, learning to read is tough. I learned back when I was 6, well, maybe 7. But these kids were already reading in kindergarten. It's because of this really neat learning program called Writing to Read. It's from IBM. Now, it takes words a kid can say, and they can say a lot, and teaches them how to write and read them.
J, turtle.
Turtle.
Type, turtle.
The computer helps them. It's fun.
Can a fish ride in a wagon?
More than 20,000 kids were part of the pilot program, and some can even write their own stories.
Dad cooks macaroni. I like it too. I kissed my cat before I went to school.
Gee, I wish they had this when I was a kid.
As a group, children in Writing to Read did significantly better on national reading tests. The 2-year pilot program of Writing to Read was supported and funded by IBM.
6:33 remaining for the Cougars. The Buckeyes lead at 10-7. Bosco, straight back, batted down, almost picked off. Byron Lee. And also 95. I think it was Darrell Lee, wasn't it? Let's watch here. Number 95, Darrell Lee. Did he get a hand on it? I think it was.
You can see it's like throwing through the forest. But let me interject the thought here, Jay. I just don't know whether Robbie Bosco is a completely healthy athlete today. I have never seen him throw as poorly as he has thrown today. Everything he seems as if he's throwing sidearm. He hasn't been sharp. He hasn't thrown his long passes well. He just doesn't seem to have it today.
Pass is complete to Lake Heimuli as the defender fell down on the play. And Heimuli was able to come up with a 27-yard reception.
And even on this pass, you'll see there's not that great trajectory. Watch how high he has to throw this ball. It's almost as if he's struggling throwing it. Look at that. Look at the trajectory of that ball. That is really high. It gives the defender a lot of time to react back to the play. It's just not delivered sharp and crisp like the Robbie Bosco that I've seen in the past.
Well, it may be that his arm is bothering him some. 8 receptions for 68 yards for Heimuli today. Bosco bails out. Incomplete. Trying to get it to Sikahema. He was out of bounds when he took it in, and John Sullivan, 57, had the coverage over there. You know, earlier we saw Terry White make a big play in the secondary. As you look at Bosco's statistics, 3 of the 4 fellas in the secondary for the Buckeyes were all running backs when they were in high school, and Terry White young fella I sat next to at the luncheon was at our table yesterday. Over 3,000 yards in high school at Cambridge, Ohio. Now playing defensive positions here at Ohio State. Tui Peloto and a penalty marker down. And it looked like Ohio State might have been offside. You see the time remaining. 6:05 to go.
There's the offside signal. Now, it was an interesting call by Bosco. What he did is teams get in a cadence. It's almost as if you get in a rhythm. The offense comes out and starts on the second count, and everything goes smooth. The defense reacts to it. That time, as Bosco came up the line, he gave him an extra count.
Red, 5 yards, still second down.
What he did is he came up to the line of scrimmage and he'd been going on 2. He came up, went hut, like that, and drew the defense offside and had a free play. Second down, 5 yards. That's the easiest 5 yards Mr. Bosco has picked up all day.
Field goal would tie this game. Of course, that wouldn't be the case if Ohio State had kicked a field goal in close when they went for 4th and 1 at the 5-yard line and didn't get it in the third quarter. You can always look back and second guess, but it's bowl time. You let it all hang out, don't you?
You brings up a great Dave Roweism. If ifs and buts were cherries and nuts, then every day would be Christmas.
I thought it was the whole world would be squirrels.
Oh, okay. Now, I want to tell you, back in beautiful Asheboro, North Carolina, everybody knows that statement.
At the moment, timeout has been called, and the officials are speaking to both benches. I don't know what the problem is.
Well, I think they just wanted to take a break. It seems as if the officials had something to tell. They ran over and, of course, told Earl Bruce. Now they're going over to the other side, and Lavelle saying, hey, tell me what you told him over there.
Well, they're getting the message to both coaches, and we'll try to check and see just what the situation is here. They're calling somebody called a timeout. Oh, the offensive phones are out. That's the problem. And of course, when that happens, if one side's phones are not working, the other side must take their phones off too. All's fair in love and war.
And bowl game.
That's right.
I thought for a second it might have been our clock. You know, we have a very famous clock here in the end zone. I think you talked a little bit about it.
Well, it is a famous clock in that it usually goes berserk once in a while, but today it has worked beautifully.
First time in the 40-year history.
I probably jinxed it by talking about it now. 10-7. The Buckeyes are leading this 40th Citrus Bowl. It's been a hard-fought affair. Big plays on defense this afternoon from both teams. We'd expected some bigger plays on offense. Bosco, quick toss. It's complete to Scott Norberg. Scott, who transferred from Nebraska, number 89, a junior from Tempe, Arizona, hit by Sonny Gordon, the Rover man, number 7. And it looks like a first down. It is at the 49-yard line.
And now Robbie Bosco is finding those short wide receivers. There comes a receiver in to tell him, look, do this. That's Miles from the left side. He's number 26. They're telling him, hit those short passes. They're wide open. And he's connected on a couple now.
Norberg and Miles are the wide receivers. Sikahema inside the 45-yard line. Sikahema gets to the 43. Ray Holloman, number 55, stalled him at that point for Ohio State. The clock is running as we come to 5 minutes to play.
And Jay, I interjected that thing about his arm maybe sore, talking about Robbie Bosco, but I watched him yesterday in practice. He did not throw one pass in practice yesterday. Now, I don't know if that's one of his little traits or not, but the day before the game, I was surprised not to see a quarterback throwing at least 3 or 4 practice passes.
On second down, Bosco over the middle, complete to Hemuli, and he's got the first down at the 37-yard line. Chris Spielman, the linebacker, 36, makes the play, and they'll move the chains with 4:41 left to go in this game. And we should remind everybody, no overtimes in college action, even at the bowl game level.
That's right. We go home if they kick a field goal. We go home 10-10. But neither team wants to play for a tie. They want to play to win.
Last year, a 10-10 tie here. That was Tuipulotu again. And he is down to the 37-yard line. Larry Kolick, 33 on the tackle. He's been the big hero in the second half. Kolick, 33 with help from Spielman, 36. And you see the time remaining as we near 4 minutes.
Well, if in fact Ohio State does win this game, Kolick could run for mayor of Columbus and probably win, because he's played an outstanding game on defense.
Bosco, incomplete. Was waiting to see how they rule that, because his arm was hit by Pepper Johnson, who was bearing down on him.
We talked about Pepper Johnson earlier. Yesterday when we were taking pictures, he wouldn't smile. He said linebackers don't smile. Now watch him creep up into line. He's going to blitz. This is what they've done so effectively. Look at that. Just side swipes that lineman. Bam, hits that ball, knocks it right out of Robbie Bosco's hands. Pepper Johnson has played really well today from his line. Now there's the scowl I was talking about. That's a smile on him, Jay.
Third down and 9. Bosco going long, and it is intercepted, I believe. It is intercepted. Ohio State football, number 37, William White took it away, just barely in bounds. White, the sophomore from Lima, Ohio, his 6th interception of the year. More from Orlando after this.
We're not a company, but no company has more pride in what they do, or more pride in how well they do it. We offer you a meaningful and fulfilling future, one that goes far beyond the ordinary, one that brings with it the respect and admiration of Americans everywhere. We're not a company, we're your country. We're the Air Force, the Marines, the Army, the Navy. We're the Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
Finally, a good, strong cup of coffee that's also incredibly smooth. New Marigore Bold from Taster's Choice. It begins with the world's fullest flavored gourmet coffee beans, roasted long, roasted dark, until they're ready to burst with rich coffee flavor. For a strong, smooth cup of coffee, new Marigore Bold and Marigore Bold naturally decaffeinated. 2 bold new reasons why the choice for taste is Taster's Choice.
Bosco, and perhaps the biggest turnover of the day.
Total frustration. Look at the trajectory of the ball. Real high, allows the defender to come back. William White, there's both feet in bounds. He only needed one, but he came down with both feet in bounds. Intercepts the ball, and as you said, Jay, probably the biggest turnover of the day.
Woolridge carrying for Ohio State. Stop made by Whittingham, number 53. A day that has been rough going for Robbie Bosco.
1 on the play.
There are the turnovers.
2nd and 9.
Like to offer our thanks to Brigham Young University for their assistance today and all week, to Athletic Director Glenn Tuckett, the Sports Information Director Dave Schultes, Head Coach LaValle Edwards and his entire staff. Thanks to all the gang from BYU. That's Woolridge getting to the 27-yard line. He was met there by Sproul's and Sanders. Also, our thanks, of course, to the folks from Ohio State. Athletic Director Rick Bay, the Sports Information Director Marv Holman, to Earl Bruce and his coaching staff. 3rd down and 4 coming. 2 minutes and 30 seconds right now left in this game. Carsado's throwing, and down the sidelines, getting the first down, and with a tremendous effort, the Rhodes Scholar Mike Lanise. Sanders made the stop, number 59. Lanise did a very important job. He kept the movement going for Ohio State.
A completed pass inbounds. You don't have a 2-minute warning in college football. It's an out pattern, a very successful pass. Lanise keeps those legs driving, picks up a little bit more yardage, scrambles up to the first down. They've got 4 more tries to run that clock down, and we're just about to the 2-minute, not a warning, but 2-minute time.
Cooper gets a couple, protecting that football. Jason Buck 99, Sanders 59. All of us at NBC Sports want to take a moment. Certainly thank the Florida Citrus Sports Association for all their help. Thanks to the executive director, Chuck Rowe, to Dylan Thomas, to Carol Monroe, John Full, and the rest of the staff for all of their help this week. And to President Manny Garcia, who's been a wonderful host. And to the great folks in the Orlando area. 1:20 to play. Buckeyes lead it 10-7. Woolridge, penalty marker goes down as Woolridge got it to the 42, maybe the 43. Utrell 75 and Steve Sanders 59 on the stop. Holding against Ohio State.
And Earl Bruce will not like that call because that's going to stop the clock with 1:15 left. It's going to be a big penalty marched off against Ohio State, and it's just about time for BYU to start using their timeouts to control the clock.
Earl Bruce, a man who was encouraged to go into coaching by Woody Hayes. Laval Edwards, the head man of the Cougars. This 1985 Florida Citrus Classic has been brought to you by Ford and your local Ford dealer. Have you driven? He's coached more games and more years and had the best winning percentage. Any coach, of course, in Cougar history. And right now, his Cougars are going to need a big play to pull it off here as Tom Tupa will do the punting. And Vi Sikahema goes downfield, and he can make the big play. He's had a frustrating day today. Turned it over a couple of times.
One crucial time inside the 1-yard line. That fumble really hurt BYU. They're coming after the ball. Wait a minute, there's a whistle on the play. Oh, if that's an offside.
Sikahema fields it. Now let's see what the call's going to be.
Oh, if they call offside against BYU, oh boy.
No, it's a delay of game call.
Yeah. But if Robbie Bosco ever wanted to rejuvenate his offense, now's the time to do it. He really, you know, we talked about it. He's 24-2 when he starts at quarterback.
And with the score 10-7, I'm reminded that the Cougars lost 24-7 to Utah State in 1978. That was the last time this team was not in double figures in scoring. 94 straight games. So a great deal of credit must go to the Buckeyes today for what they've done on defense. On occasion, BYU self-destructed. They're still going to have an opportunity. Sikahema looking up into the sun. He's got it at the 25, bobbled it. Look out. Free ball. Ohio State says they have it.
I think he may have called. The referee came in from the sideline. I think he signaled BYU's ball that the ball was dead on the ground. You cannot pile on. Of course, you can't get up and run with the ball, so they may, in fact, give it to BYU.
BYU football with 56 seconds remaining.
There's a lot of Ohio State fans that don't like it. Now watch this here. You'll see he misjudges the ball, comes down. Now once he touches the ball, and he's down right there. That ball is down. It's dead there. Even though the ball is laying out there and Ohio State recovers it, of course they can't get up and run with it.
38-yard punt. Sikahema has had a little trouble holding on to that football today, but here are the Cougars with a chance to pull it out. Bosco throws complete to Miles. Miles, who caught the BYU touchdown, you'll remember, late in the first half. He's out of bounds. Coverage by William White. White, who came off with a big interception in the end zone. Ball just shy of the 35-yard line. 50 seconds remaining to be played.
And Jay, I can't think of a better quarterback in this situation than Robbie Bosco. When he's hot, he is deadly.
You saw Gary Webster, the field goal kicker. He might get a chance to tie it. Complete to Bellini. Bellini out of bounds at the 47-yard line. Coverage over there again by William White. White thought about trying to take that ball away, but I think thought better of it, because if he had made the play for it and hadn't gotten it, he might have been able to turn it downfield.
Coaches will always tell you, make the sure tackle in that situation. Don't get burned for the deep one.
First down, Cougars. pressure from the Buckeyes. Eric Crummerow, the sophomore from River Forest, Illinois, number 14, was leading the way.
And Pepper Johnson.
Pepper Johnson has been in there all day long.
We called his number a lot.
Fine player he is. 34 seconds remaining to be played. We'll be going to the Jet New England game as soon as this one is over. This one is thrown too wide for Bellini to come up with. 28 seconds left.
And Jay, when I was down in the field before the game, I talked to Ormsby, who is a kickoff specialist for this team, for BYU. And he told me he kicked a 70-yard field goal. Now, we've got a young quarterback that's right behind us here. And maybe for BYU, maybe he could clarify that. But Ormsby does have the leg to kick. I saw him kick. He has a magnificent strength in that leg.
Young man from New Zealand. Bosco hit, incomplete, and it was Eric Crummerow one more time. Boy.
Well, this is the time if you want a 70-yard field goal. Bosco does not see the Crummerow coming from the backside, number 14. He's fortunate just to get this ball off, but you can see the pressure he's on, got hit in the back of the head, and we may see that lengthy field goal.
Now it's going to be 4th down, and they're set up with Bosco. 4th and 10. Bosco rolling to the right side, has time, going to run for it, and he's got it. 17 seconds left. 13-yard pickup. The fans here on the edge of their seats. You saw the group from BYU. If they kicked it from here, it'd be a 51-yard attempt. 17 seconds remaining. 1 timeout left. Bosco throws it out there. That is Hamuli, who is out of bounds near the 30-yard line. It would be about a 47-yarder from there. 10 seconds remaining. 1 timeout left for the Cougars.
It's hard to believe that a game can come down to 10 seconds and a field goal kicker, but that's what it looks like right now. Now, there's Ormsby. That's the man we told you that can kick a 70-yard field goal, but they just didn't think he could kick it. But they have Gary Webster, who is their more accurate field goal kicker from shorter distances.
Well, Ormsby or Webster may get the call. Bosco trying to get it all. It's intercepted. It's intercepted, and that'll do it. It was Terry White, number 12, the youngster who sat with us yesterday, who was such a great running back in high school. They went for it all when it looked like they might have a chance to kick a tying